To portray how hot it is when you speak to people back home.
In Oregon, the heat was suspected to have caused 6 deaths. I'm Jennifer King.
House Speaker Mike Johnson claims the lid has been blown off a massive Democrat cover-up. He says Democrats have tried for years to hide President Biden's declining mental state. He says now they're finally being challenged by the news media.
They're chasing down our Democrat colleagues and asking them about Joe Biden's mental acuity and their efforts to cover it up. And that's what it's been. I mean, we could give you example after example after example. It's all on tape. It's all on record. Everybody knows it. Democrats, our colleagues, for 3.5 years have been covering up this glaring problem. The staff in the White House have been covering it up, and so have the Democrats in Congress.
And it's prompted some Democrats to urge Mr. Biden to drop his re-election bid, but the president refuses, insisting he can beat former President Trump in November. Mr. Trump held another huge rally yesterday, this one in Doral, Florida. He challenged Mr. Biden to participate in an unmoderated debate and to play 18 holes of golf to benefit the charity of President Biden's choice. On Wall Street, the Dow futures up 22 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
See, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. And maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. See what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
In South America, persistence paid off. They found the body of an American mountain climber lost in an avalanche more than 20 years ago.
Police in Peru say they've recovered the body of mountaineer Bill Stamfel on one of the highest peaks in the Andes Mountains. The 58-year-old was trying to climb the 22,000-foot Mount Huascarán with friends in 2002 when they were buried by an avalanche. His family knew there was little hope of finding him alive or even retrieving his body from the thick fields of snow and ice. But a group of high mountain rescue police and guides found Stamfel's body Friday near a camp some 17,000 feet above sea level. Word came as a shock to his children. I'm Ben Thomas.
Authorities in China investigating food safety concerns in cooking oils after an investigative report from local media revealed that tankers carrying soybean oil from a major state-owned company were also used to carry a form of coal. Townhall.com. Opening statements today in the New Mexico involuntary manslaughter trial of actor Alec Baldwin.
12 jurors and 4 alternates have been chosen to decide whether Alec Baldwin committed a felony in the shooting death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins on the set of the movie Rust in 2021. 11 women and 5 men make up the panel. Only 2 out of 70 prospective jurors said they were unfamiliar with the case. Baldwin faces up to 18 months in prison if convicted. His defense team has not said whether Baldwin will testify.
Correspondent Margie Zaraletta. Microsoft has given up its seat on the board of OpenAI. The company says its participation is no longer needed because the ChatGPT maker has improved its governance since being roiled by boardroom chaos last year. The surprise move comes amid intensifying scrutiny from antitrust watchdogs of the powerful AI partnership. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy middle of the week, everybody.
Wednesday.
Yeah, happy Wednesday. Got some rain last night.
So it's Wetness Day.
Yeah. Did you notice?
It's. I didn't realize it rained last night. The only thing is I woke up to a wet ground. That's sort of the best indicator. It's the whole weather rocks scenario.
I remember waking up around 2 a.m.
Okay.
And hearing the thunder and lightning and the rain and all that good stuff. So I think we got us, at least in my unconscious state, I think there was at least a good 45 minutes of rain.
Nice.
In that given window there. So we got some good moisture last night.
Nice little sustained rain.
Yeah. We do have slightly more chances of rain today. Not as big as what they were saying yesterday. But.
This is weird. It's like a cut and paste weekend or week.
Yeah.
Like every other week of the summer has been like 105, 107. This 1 week we're giving a little bit of a reprieve. It was still hot yesterday.
Yeah.
But it was manageable hot.
Not 107.
Yeah.
Or 113 or 118 or whatever people were getting in their vehicles a week or so ago.
No, I know. I mean, meanwhile, we were enjoying that weather, but Palm Springs this week posted 124 degrees as a high.
Wow.
It was a record for Palm Springs.
That's warm.
That's definitely warm.
I think. That's still a little cold to be grilling meats, but you can smoke meats, but you're a little bit warmer. You can start smoking like ribs or something.
Yeah.
Right there on your patio.
There you go.
But happy Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day thus far. I looked in Albuquerque's weather. They're about 20% chance today. So I think
they're hanging tough.
My wife is excited.
No, I bet.
So pull back the curtain after the show today. My wife and I are booking it to Albuquerque because tonight at the Isleta Pavilion is the New Kids on the Block, Paula Abdul and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
That's awesome.
Concert. No Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Just Jazzy Jeff.
They couldn't afford Will.
No, they sure couldn't.
Of course, you got to wonder, what does DJ Jazzy Jeff charging these days for his show?
Yeah, that's what I mean, he's got to be county fairing it, right? If he's not,
I would think.
If not, the New Kids grab him up to.
Well, from what I gathered, like, for example, comics, when they sort of hit their like, the out to pasture moment, that's when they start making the big bucks, because casinos will come and offer ungodly amounts of money just because you're a dude that's known for a thing.
Sure, absolutely. It's but anyway, we're going to the concert tonight, and so that's why I was talking about the weather here, because there is like a slight chance, and Isleta Pavilion is an outdoor thing. But my wife, who didn't have to wake up at this point in the day yet, was I got up my normal time, get in the shower, do my morning thing, and as I was kind of filling up my water jug for the day, doing my last minute things before I head out the door, my wife comes up the hallway singing that. Singing that song. I think she may have had it on her phone too, now that I think about it. Singing to it. So she's excited.
I mean, admittedly,
then I think
they are hanging tough. They've been at this for a long time, and they're still doing good.
And then I think as I was walking out the door, I think my wife is starting to dig into the Paula Abdul catalog on her phone, because I started hearing a Paula Abdul song, but it didn't sound like the original. It sounded like some kind of remix.
Dude, at least twice now, since I brought up Paula Abdul, I've had a name dropped in connection to Paula Abdul both times. So it's almost weird how synonymous these two are. But Paula Abdul, Gloria Estefan.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I love Paula Abdul and Gloria Estefan. I didn't mention Gloria. Right. She's not going to be there.
They're not even from the same parts of the country.
I don't think they got MC Scat Cat for this
Different
one.
backgrounds altogether. They just both sing.
Yeah. It was that, I think that time though. They both came from that era.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how people, from my generation, where I grew up, associate Patty Loveless with Trisha Yearwood.
Like I always get Tiffany and Debbie Gibson.
Same.
Mixed up. Because they're kind of in the same in my head. They were famous at the same time, both young singers. So I think they're both teenagers when they hit it. Famous, if I remember right. So,
or at least they were portrayed as such.
This is
27 years old. You're actually going to be 16.
That's right. You're 47. By the way, you're going to play a high school teenager on a show called 90210. You're 45.
Yeah, that is really ever since I've sort of hit a certain age. Now that I notice people of a certain age, I go back and look at the casts of high school dramas or whatever. You're in your easily mid-20s.
I can't remember the character or actress's name on 90210, but she's not Shannon Doherty. She's not Grath the blonde. She's not Tori Spelling. She's the other one.
The other one.
I don't remember her name.
Oh, that's a bummer.
And but
so she's not Jenny Garth.
No.
Not Tori Spelling, not Shannon Doherty. Gabrielle.
Yeah, I think that's
Andrea.
The one.
Did she play Andrea?
Maybe.
Gabrielle Carteris.
She was like the lesser of the clique there.
Oh, that's right. Tiffany Amber Thesis.
But in she was literally in her 30s playing a high school kid. She's I think she's actually 5 to 10 years older than all of the other main cast members of that show.
The suspension of disbelief.
So she's probably now it's like Beverly Hills Home 90210. But
bingo time.
So. Let me give you a rundown for today's show. We do have a full slate for you for today. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to have Rick Kraft join us with Leadership Roswell. And, of course, the upcoming Leadership Roswell class is now taking applications. And a deadline coming up here at the end of this month. So we're going to, if you're not familiar with Leadership Roswell, we'll learn you all about that.
You're about to be.
Encourage you to, if it fits your, interests, to sign up and to be a part of it. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to have Brian Luck join us, superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, giving us a rundown from their last school board meeting and other things happening during, I guess, the summer months, the off months for the school. The school board's busy, but the rest of the district a little bit quieter. So, but we'll get an update from him. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, I guess it's Rick Day. Ooh, we're getting Rick rolled today.
No, we are not. Don't you bring that evil onto the show.
But in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Pastor Rick Hale will join us, and with Grace Community Church. And after many, many years of serving in the community and being a part of the church there, he is retiring.
Oh.
And so we're going to chat with him about retirement and all that good stuff. And I don't know. He's a pastor. Do pastors really ever retire?
I mean, you're always sort of looked at as, a wise, sayer of sage advice.
I think you just stop getting a paycheck from the church because literally people still probably come to you for pastoral needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at this point, you're just an elder.
Yeah, exactly. I think they just stopped paying you. That's really what that's code for. So,
Kim checking on the chat, letting us know she is in fact hanging tough.
She is.
Yes.
Whoa. So we'll talk with Rick Hale in the 9 o'clock hour. We'll also have all of your features, including the newses of the local and national variety, Wall Street Business Update. It is Wednesday, so we'll work in your Chaves County Sports Update with Mr. Butler. And whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We still have that flow of moist air coming in from the southwest, and that means some showers and thunderstorms for us today. Mid-90s on the afternoon high, and some of those storms could be severe with large hail and damaging wind. A few thunderstorms in upper 60s for the overnight hours. A mix of sun and clouds coming up on Thursday, mid-90s, and some afternoon thunderstorms. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 68 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 76%. Winds currently out of the west at 10 miles per hour. There is a 30% chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms after 3 p.m. today. However, they do say some of those storms could be severe in nature. Mostly sunny otherwise, and a high of 95 today with north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, we're looking at a 30% chance at scattered showers and thunderstorms till about 9 p.m. However, they do throw in that caveat that some of those storms could be severe in nature. Partly cloudy, expect an overnight low of 68 degrees with southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Thursday, we're looking at a 20% chance at afternoon isolated showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny otherwise with a high of 96. Winds will be out of the southeast at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear with an overnight low of 69 degrees, south winds 5 to 10. Going into the weekend on Friday, sunny and 97. For your Saturday, sunny, also a high of 97. And just for fun, let's make Sunday exactly the same. Sunny and hot, high of 97. And then 100 when you head to work on Monday. But maybe that'll change. It's quite a few days out yet. And you know how New Mexico weather kind of works out. So, all right, it is 7:16. We're going to go ahead and take a 3-minute break here, quick commercial break, and then we'll talk leadership Roswell on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests. Protect your family's most important investment, your home, and protect your children and pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today and let our fully licensed pest control professionals start working for you and your family. Find us fast in names and numbers. Call 623-5344, serving all of Southeast New Mexico.
So the weeds are taking over your property? Ask yourself, what would Jim Gill do?
This is Ben from Roswell Seed. If Jim was here, the first thing he'd do is figure out what kind of weeds you're dealing with. He'd recommend the best thing to get rid of them and show you how to use it. Then, he'd probably tell you a long story about the biggest weed he ever saw.
Big or small, when problems come along, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
Check out some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select bags of Char King charcoal briquettes are $5.98 each, and boxes of Food Club mac and cheese are 3 for $1. In produce, various sizes of strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, or raspberries are $1.99 each, and green asparagus is $2.99 a pound. In the meat department, boneless whole pork loins are $2.49 a pound, and family packs of split fryer breasts are $1.49 a pound. These are just some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Leadership Roswell, of course, I guess you could say the chief, the commander-in-chief of the Leadership Roswell program, Rick Kraft, and next year's class president, Brandon Williams, as well. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How's life treating you all this morning? You know,
Excellent.
It's doing good here. I got thinking on the way over here, over half my life I've been involved in this program.
I'm about to say this is...
First time I've ever thought that.
Yeah, because you're 30... I've lost track.
This will be 33 years
33.
Involved. Yeah, 32 heading it up, but I went through the first year.
I knew it was 30. I just didn't know how much above 30 it was.
So I pulled out my fingers and toes and I counted and
ran out.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you got 2 years, and there's other appendages you can add if you need to.
But it's good to be here. Thank you for letting us come and talk to you.
Well, obviously, I'm a big supporter and fan of the Leadership Roswell program. I'm a graduate of the Leadership Roswell program, and for
alumni board member.
Yes, and on the alumni board as well. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do the general and let these get to more in the specifics. But for folks that are not familiar with Leadership Roswell, it is a program that, and in actuality, one of the premier in the state of New Mexico. There's other similar leadership programs, New Mexico, various other entities, other municipalities that do it, but a lot of them use this Leadership Roswell program as the model for theirs. Mm-hmm. It's started many moons ago.
1983.
83 was the
and we have a Texas program modeled after ours too.
Okay, very good. So we're spreading outside of the state boundaries here. Very good. But it is a program that it really does a couple fold here. It is a networking opportunity. You get to meet other community leaders, other community business owners, other people that are actively involved in our community or hope to be. And so you get to meet and interact and network with various walks of Roswell in Chavez County. But on top of that, it is a leadership teaching program. So you do learn different aspects of leadership, different ways to leadership, different tools, and different programs and things that help you become a better leader, tools to manage time, manage your assets, things like that. But then on the other side, there's a third branch on this too, is you really get to see how the sausage is made around our county here. I mean, everything from city government to county government to, historical society to what's going on out of FLETC. Depending on years, you might even get to, do some of the other, Christmas at Krebs. It evolves from year to year. But you really get a chance to see aspects of the city, aspects of your community, and learn how it's done and by that merit, get to use that to plug in to enhance your community involvement and doing whatever. If you're doing this for business or if you're doing this just to be a better, serving in nonprofits and things like that, this will give you more tools and more assets and more knowledge to navigate those kinds of things. Yeah. That's probably pretty bare bones, I think. I'll let you guys kind of get more into the meat and nuts of the details of it.
But you did a great job. when we spoke about me coming, I said I really don't need to be here because I think you know what's going on.
But they get tired of my voice, so it's nice and it's always great when we can bring you on the radio. So,
well, you did a great job broken down to its simplest level. There's three aspects, and you just hit them. One of them is education. What's going on in our city, our county, our state, and I've had people that have lived in Roswell their whole life, and they say, "What more can I learn?" But I've been through the program, over 30 times,
sure.
And I learn every year myself.
Yeah, you're pretty familiar with the program, and you're still you know what's coming next.
But I'm still growing and learning, and then the second thing, as you said, is networking.
Yeah,
really, to be an effective leader in our community, you've got to have relationships. It's who do you know? What's your relationship with them?
Absolutely.
And then the third is the leadership training, which I enjoy a whole lot. We want students to come out better equipped.
Absolutely.
To take leadership positions.
Absolutely. Yeah. The whole idea is, when you start the program, you come out and you're better overall effective person. Now, there is about a year commitment here for Leadership Roswell. They meet every month, usually once a month, and it's an all day, usually on a Friday. There's a few exceptions to that. And it floats all over the county here. Sometimes you'll be spending your days at the chamber. Some days you'll be spending your days walking around the courthouse or the county building or at the police station. One of the few times you get to see that part and not do something to put you in that part.
It's nice to visit in the league.
Yeah, good place to visit. Don't want to move in. I'm good. And so you really do. Then that's part of the excitement too, and you get to go and kind of and you get to. Some days you feel like a kid playing, and then those other days where it's more business and getting in there. But that's the fun part of it, and a lot of what you do in your leadership side too is group building, because you are a class of 30, and 30 is the cap. We can't take any more than 30. And you do work as a team, as a group to navigate. I know like days that you're going to spend a day out at the insurance home, and there's going to be a lot of team building and confidence building activities there that, quite frankly, are designed to push you out of your comfort zone a little bit. And that's what, again, it's all safe, it's all good, but you get to do it in an environment and to kind of put yourself in pressure situations and how, train yourself how to navigate through those kinds of things. So it's a little bit of everything.
And Brandon just graduated the class of 24. Did you enjoy your experience?
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. Unbelievable. It was, obviously, if I could do it over again, I would, and here I am.
Sure. So I'm curious. What was your favorite classes throughout this past year? What was ones that kind of stand out in your head?
Even the trip to Santa Fe. We went to Santa Fe for the sessions. That was a good deal there.
And you're one of. Is this the first or second class?
Second.
Yeah, because COVID, we had a couple years there. We got to go to Ruidoso, had an amazing time, but it was not the Santa Fe trip.
Right. Yeah, and the assurance home was awesome. I mean, like you said, the team building and stuff that happened at the assurance home, I think, is kind of what sets the groundwork for growing through the.
And that's why you kind of do it early in the program too. It'd be at that point, if you do it in March or April, you all know each other pretty well. This time, this kind of forces you to meet each other a little bit.
Yes, yeah, divide up. That was one of the things that I was taught early on in past employments and stuff is. Don't mingle any more than 2 people, and then you'll get to know a lot of people if you don't do that, or if you do that. So,
sure.
That was one of the things too, is just stepping out of that comfort zone in your bubble and just introducing yourself to people that you may not know.
Sure, absolutely. So so for you, kind of the ability to put yourself out there and kind of, yes, some of the actual activities and stuff, but kind of one of the lessons is that comfort in putting yourself out there a little bit.
Yeah, you may know a person or two in the class. Roswell's not Albuquerque. We're still a small
probably
community.
pretty good. You're going to know one or two.
Yeah,
it's a small town.
Yeah, so you can kind of gravitate to those people a little, but then you're put into groups and you're taught to do different skits and different deals, and you got to kind of put yourself out there. And it is though. It's super fun. It can be kind of a little nerve-wracking, if you will. You get, especially if you're nervous about different things.
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, like if you say, for instance, you're uncomfortable speaking in public, there's going to be some opportunities you're going to be doing that here, and that might,
right,
get the sweaty palms, all the, everything that happens and all that. But that's the idea. It's to get you to say, hey, see, that wasn't so bad, or understand it, and you're right. That's one of the things that is really great about the program. For this year's class, now like we said, there is a capacity of 30. We cannot take any more than 30 students. I will tell you this: every year we usually get more than 30 applications. Yes. Sometimes we get as many as 50 or 60.
Right.
So, but this is something I want to tell you. If you've applied in the past, please fill out another application for this year. People that have previously applied and did not get accepted, you get a little bit of carried weight into this. So imagine if you missed out twice,
right.
you got a little bit more weight than even some of the others.
We had a student last year who made it her 3rd try.
There you go.
I'm so proud of her sticking with it.
Well, and that's the cool thing about it, because that really shows something to the committee that does ultimately select here. When you see someone that's applied 2-3 times and didn't get in, you're like, okay, this is a priority for this person. This is the type of person we want in the class. Someone that's gonna invest their time and energy into it and take something away from it. And so that's, at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for, is 30 individuals that can take the most out of this, that are hungriest for it and are willing to take its lessons and apply it to the community afterwards.
Well, and since the whole application process is on paper, it's critical that they express themselves, fill out the questions completely.
Absolutely.
And then even letters of reference carry good weight.
Absolutely. The questions are the application, which, by the way, you can go and get right now. You can get it on the Artesia Chambers website, which is roswellnm.org. And you can download the application there and print it. You can actually go by the chamber and pick up a copy if you prefer that. But so whatever high tech or low tech, whatever tech you want, we can tech you. We can match your tech for tech.
Yeah,
almost. Now, if you come in here with some laser coding, then we're out. But if you need something printed, we got you.
and the chamber's at 131 West 2nd Street. Most everyone should probably know where that's at.
Right across from the police station. If in case I know where that is. But you're right. The application there is not. It's not multiple choice. It's not. These are thought-provoking questions. They're going to ask you your opinions on various aspects of our community, greatest needs, biggest problems, greatest assets, things like that. And we don't want you to just say, "What's the greatest problem?" Crime, and then move on to the next answer. Thank you for that answer. Elaborate. Crime is a fine answer, but okay, why is crime the greatest need? Why is it there? And why is it that and not healthcare or something else,
And what can we do to improve it?
Absolutely. And so that's the kind of answers we're looking for. And there's not right or wrong answers here. We just want to kind of see how your thought process is, what is important to you, and to be honest, what areas of community you're probably gravitating towards to help and be a part of. It's all kind of tells us that a little bit.
Yeah, most every year we lose somebody who is well qualified and should be in the group, doesn't make it because they rush the application.
Exactly.
And that really bothers me when I know we've got somebody who's a current or a future leader.
Sure. He's like, I've seen their resume. They've done enough stuff here that they warrant it. But here's the thing. You've got till the end of this month, so you don't have to rush yet. So take your time. Now, I highly... like I said, you got till end of business on the end of the 31st here to get your applications into the chamber, like 5 p.m. that day. Please don't wait till the day of or the day before to fill this out. If you got some free time this weekend, go ahead and download it or get it. Go pick up a copy. Spend a good couple hours working on this thing. Give yourself some honest, thought-provoking answers to these questions. And just because at the end of the day, even if you're not really sure how to answer it, it's going to make you think about it a little bit. And quite frankly, some of the questions that you're going to be asked, you're going to be discussing and dealing with a lot of those topics throughout the course of the Leadership Roswell class in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Part of leadership is meeting deadlines.
That's right.
It seems like every year, a couple days after the deadline's in, someone says, "Oh, I meant to get an application in."
Yeah.
We turn them pretty quick. We have 5 independent scorers.
Yes.
And once we get them out to the scorers, I mean, it's, every year it seems like there's someone I say, just try again next year.
Yeah. And Rick calls every single applicant that applied for the class, all 30 that make it and all however many that do not make it here.
Yeah.
That's one thing I know that's you were very important because you want to express your gratitude for applying and for reaching out and to wanting to be a part of this. We would love to fit more people in, but logistically it would really make it difficult to do that. It's because quite frankly, you're when you have a Leadership Roswell day, you're going to get there at whatever time, 7 in the morning, and you're going to be going till about 4:30 that afternoon. And you're going to be it's going to be a whirlwind day. I guarantee when you get home that Friday, you're not going out to the bar or to the party that night. You're like, what's on Netflix? And let's order DoorDash.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts. I look forward to working with Brandon this year. About 2 or 3 years ago, the class in their yearbook, at the end of the class, they listed all the speakers. There's over 100 people that presented, and that's a typical year. It's a lot of lives that are being touched. I mean, the tours... I've not counted them up, but I bet you we've got 15, 20 tours.
Absolutely,
if not more. And so there's a lot involved with it. And at the end of the day, I know I'm exhausted. I know Brandon will be too.
Well, are you excited to take on the role as class president?
Super excited. Big shoes to fill with Father Yarrick. That guy was just amazing.
Father Yarrick
amazing.
is I don't think there's a man or person on the planet that could have a 5-minute conversation with him and not love him at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You talk 5 minutes with Father York, you're like, what a great guy. Every single person.
How do you not love him?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, absolutely. But and for folks that don't know, your class president was a graduate the year prior, and then his classmates elected him to be your leader for this year's class. Because he set himself apart.
He's a leader of leaders.
Exactly. Yeah. When they had those sessions in there and everyone's going, I don't know what to do. Brandon was probably the guy going, hey, here's an idea. Let's start here. Yeah.
I might have been. I don't know. I mean, super humbled and thank my classmates and stuff for thinking this highly and stuff of me. And it's an honor. It's an honor to represent the class, and so I'll do the best to represent them.
Excellent.
That's for sure.
Good deal. Well, I imagine Father York will probably be around from time to time to mentor and help as needed.
Yeah, he just got back from 6 weeks in Poland. I had lunch with him yesterday.
Good deal. And that's where he's from, right?
Yeah.
So is he visiting family and everything?
Yeah, went back
Good for him.
And so he's on. I miss his energy, but I picked it up yesterday when he.
Well, so was he gone during the fires and everything?
Yeah.
Well, we need him back here real quick then. His positive vibes and energy and doing his thing.
Well, and what I did, Mike, we've got 1,059 graduates, and this will be our 42nd class.
Since 1983, that's how many have
that's how many lives have been touched.
Gone through the program.
Yeah,
right.
and we're proud of each one of them. And like this is it's the longest continuous program of its kind in the state of New Mexico.
Absolutely.
And Roswell should be proud. The chamber should be proud. We're a division of the chamber.
That's right. This is a program that is I guess sponsored or part of the Roswell Chamber of Commerce here. Since you mentioned that real quick, I'm going to do a quick plug.
Sure.
For the Alumni Association.
Yeah.
There's over 1,000 folks that have graduated this program. We do have a Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, and their first and foremost main priority is to support the Leadership Roswell program.
Yes.
They help with some scholarship monies for folks, raising funds and things like that. But they also have their own community service branch of it too, where when you hear the candidate forums that every time there's an election cycle, when we have city councilors and mayors running for races here, when you hear those, we actually do a lot of the video on our own video platforming and stuff here. Mm-hmm. That's a leader. That's one of the tent poles of the Leadership Roswell Alumni Program. The other big one that most people would know is their teen leadership program that they partner with New Mexico Military Institute, and they do. It's started as 1 day, then 2, and now I think it's up to 3-day program for high school juniors and seniors where they actually earn scholarship money. Some of them do. They get selected by their peers, kind of like how Brandon did here, to get awarded scholarship money, and they really do kind of a 2-3 day intense leadership style course and they get to do some of the things that like some of the folks at NIMI get to do with the confidence courses and some of those ropes courses and things that
some of the team building.
Yeah, some of the team building.
And I'll tell you, the community really stepped up this year. There was $19,000 that was donated by the community for scholarships. I just can't believe it. And thank you to the community and all those that donated.
Yes.
It really makes an impact on those kids, both the program and the scholarship.
Absolutely. This could be the difference between able to do their college thing and not able to do their college thing.
And it's a great program. As you know, it's in the spring each year, and Desi Aguilar's been working with it.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you'll have mine when it gets close to that.
Oh, yeah. When we get back in the spring here, or I guess late winter, we'll start talking hot and heavy on that one here. And of course, the other probably third thing that they're known for, which just happened here a couple weeks ago, was their leadership banquet,
annual leadership
banquet
awards
here, where we honor leaders in our community, and we had some pretty good ones this year to honor too, as they do every year. I mean, that's literally a who's who of Roswell and Chavez County is what from your lifetimes to the ones that are just getting into the leadership side of things.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I'd written down on the candidate form we've done 28 candidate forms since 1996, and
nice.
for 37 positions.
Wow.
It's, I don't know, 250. I didn't count the number of candidates we've asked questions to, but we appreciate y'all's support, broadcasting it live and making it available to our community. And
well, that's what we do. And to me, this is the kind of stuff that our community needs and we think is important. The people that make the decisions at this level in your neighborhoods, they're the ones that you really need to understand, and because they're going to impact your life on a daily basis much more than even a president would. It's sexy and fun to hear all, but decisions coming out of city council and Chavez County government and those things are going to impact your life much greater than something a president will do.
And that's really where the program works.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you want to go to visit FLETC, whether you want to go to the university, the institute, the hospitals, I mean, there's, everyone always steps up every year.
Sure. And by the way, we've had many mayors, city councilors,
yes,
school presidents,
fire chiefs,
police chiefs,
yeah,
sheriffs, under sheriffs, soon to be sheriffs. I'm not the sheriff. No, I'm kidding. But really, if you look at like the community leaders, Leadership Roswell has probably impacted 99% of the individuals in some way, shape, or form.
A couple of forums ago, we had 3 graduates up on the stage answering questions, and I always get proud of that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember that too. I was like, there's Matt.
2 of them run against each other. Yeah, kind of hard.
That's kind of like Rick said. Good luck. I'm rooting for you. Good luck. I'm rooting for you. You got to say it to them.
Very neutral.
But take the time, think about this. Go download the application. Consider this if you're a person that is involved in our community here, or looking to get more involved in our community. And are looking for an opportunity to kind of find where you can make your impact. I invite you to apply. Now, it does cost $1,000 to participate in the program. That includes your trip to Santa Fe and all. Like I said, you're busy from sun up to sundown. It covers all the expenses that entails. I know if the money is a hurdle here on the application, if you do need financial aid for that. Check that box, and we'll be happy to help and assist financially with any of that way we can. I know a lot of times if an individual goes through it, their business or their entity that they represent will cover the cost of that, but that's not always the case. And so if you're needing assistance there, please don't hesitate to check yes on that application. And we'll be happy to see what we can do to help ease that burden a little bit.
We don't want to miss a single student for financial reasons.
Yeah, this program is too good and too important to allow dollars to be a hurdle is the thing that stops someone from being a part of it. So we'll figure that part out. But if that doesn't bulk, please fill it out, get the applications turned in. Like I said, we will get more than 30 applications. That it happens every year. It's the program, because it's been around since 1983. It does have a track record. It does have a little bit of a following now. People are now aware for a long time the value of this program. So it is a popular program. Nonetheless, do not let that discourage you from applying. We want to get everybody in, but I guarantee you, if you take serious thought to these questions and fill them out and give us some good feedback on that. And Rick did mention, and I should enhance this because I ain't going to lie, I think this helped me get in. If you know people, connected people, like, various community leaders and things, don't hesitate to ask them to write you a letter of recommendation. Most are very familiar with it and are probably, oh yeah, no problem, I'll be happy to do it. Me being a DJ, and I get to talk to a lot of people. So I had like the mayor, I had the vice president of the college. I had like a half dozen or 10 different people. So
it took 2 hands.
And you know what? Do that. This is your chance to brag. Let them brag on you. Let them. You're selling yourself here, so don't hold back. Don't be like, well, I don't want to, put my light under a bushel here, or I want to be. Don't be humble. No, don't be humble in this particular moment. Sell yourself to us. That way, you've put everything in there that so when you get in, you get in. If not, we tell you, sorry, but it was. Please apply next year. It's going to help much more that you got a better chance.
The other thing with what you're explaining is, I'm sure there's listeners that know someone who'd be a good candidate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It might be one of their employees. It might be one of their friends.
Recommend.
Because when we sit there, the first class, we have 30 students. I've never done this, but I've always been tempted to go around and says, "Why are you here?" Because some of them they hear on the radio. It's in the newspaper, but most of them have a relationship with somebody who's been through the program.
Absolutely, word of mouth is the best marketing tool. The internet has not beat word of mouth yet. It just has not.
So somebody listening may have a family member or a friend or something that they think would bother an employee.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's also the best selling point because they trust the opinion of the person they're talking to, and so they're going to put much more weight on that, even more so than like the three of us sitting here talking about it right now.
And the first day of class, I look around the room and I say, most of you don't know what you're in for, right? But when we get to the last class and Brandon's class, when they check exceed, the program exceeded, met or didn't meet, it's usually 90% exceeded.
Absolutely.
And so whatever we're doing, and again, it's a team effort.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it was the same when I went through it, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. It'll be the best money you spend. I mean, the experience you get out of it and the training and the knowledge that you get coming out of it.
Sure.
I mean, light years ahead of where you would be. I mean, for me, myself personally, I mean, I'd never have thought that I would have been asked to speak at NIMI. I spoke at NIMI. Here I am getting ready to start a nonprofit. Never would have thought that, you'd ask me even just 2 years ago if I'd have been doing this. Never would have dreamt of it. So, it's led to opportunities. It's going to lead to a lot more in the future. So without a doubt, it's the best you'll do.
Absolutely. Like we were saying earlier, a lot of, people running for office in here, if you have aspirations to be a public servant, this is 101 class for you right here, Leadership Roswell. Because you're going to learn through the different pillars of this class that we were talking about. You're going to learn. You're going to see, how. And to be honest, it's going to make you a better public servant. Especially when you get at this local level, at city and county government, we all come in with the fire and passion, but maybe not all of the knowledge of we need better roads. Wonderful. Then you get in the meeting, how do we make it better roads? You know what I mean? Yeah, and so I think the Leadership Roswell program actually helps. Okay, what's next?
Yeah.
All right, now that I want better roads, what's the path to get better roads here? And that's
kind of like you said earlier too, Mike. We all have comfort zones.
Yeah.
And as Brandon said, really to take our gift sets and push ourselves, we need to push ourselves out of our comfort zone.
Absolutely.
If we're going to accomplish what we need to be accomplishing.
Absolutely. So I'm going to say your first push yourself out of your comfort zone is download the application.
Amen.
Fill it out.
That's right.
And turn this bad boy in, and let's see what this adventure takes you on here. But I trust me, you will be very glad you signed up for the class. I've never met a person that has gone through the Leadership Roswell program that has not said it wasn't a valuable tool. It was a great experience for them, a very positive experience. Lifelong friendships, I'm sure, have been made through Leadership Roswell.
Yep.
It's just, and you do, and especially if you get, and this is where I invite you, hopefully, especially this new class. This is moving on to the alumni side of things. And by the way, if you're an alumni from last year, 2 years ago, or 20 plus years ago, we would love to have you part of the Leadership Roswell alumni. They're looking for more people to serve and on that board in various capacities, and just the human power to pull off and act and achieve some of the things they want to do to support the Leadership Roswell program and to support their pillars of their programs in their community too.
It's my favorite board to serve on. And anything they touch, I mean, whether it's the candidate forum, the teen leadership,
and every time they're meeting, they're eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you feed them, they'll come out.
That's right. I think that's the slogan. If we're meeting, we're eating. I think that's the slogan of Leadership Roswell.
but it's kind of like Brandon said, and it's a great investment of time. I mean,
Absolutely.
Most of our community, God bless them, they're good people. But on a typical Friday, it's just another Friday.
Sure.
And to take one Friday a month and go through the process.
I would be even so bold. I'm not going to say take credit for it, but I'm going to say played a part. We've dealt with or dealing with the fires in Ruidoso and that effort of that was put on this community because of those fires. And I think most people can agree that this community stepped up and rallied and did wherever they could to offer support, help, and whatever to these fires.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that many of the people that were involved in some of the logistics of all the greatness that happened over that time, there is Leadership Roswell people involved with it. And because of their networking and connecting and the ability to even cut through red tape to make, because of those connections, I'm going to say Leadership Roswell played a role in some of those efforts and just training and equipping the people that made awesome decisions over the last couple of weeks did. And I would attribute Leadership Roswell to some of that, because without them meeting and knowing and seeing some of these things and what entities can and cannot do, then how are you going to know how to pull and work those resources? And so I'm just, obviously there's no way to prove this, but I'm going to safely say that Leadership Roswell, through their over the years training and stuff, had a major hand in helping making the what was a bad situation better.
Yeah, and I'll just give you a few examples of what you said. I agree with you 100%. At the alumni awards dinner, we honored NMUR. Dr. Sean Powell was there, and 2 or 3 of the graduates were talking about helping him out down at the university. Matt Miller, our fire chief.
Yes.
We're talking to him there's just so many instances where those relationships, the connections, the knowledge that these students have, let them to fill the lanes.
And to be honest, it started probably because they were trying to make a parachute in Leadership Roswell to get an egg down off a wall.
Save the egg.
You got to be careful. You may give away one of our secrets.
But that's what this is the cool thing about this stuff. So please, I just saw the time. We're running short here, but please go on to the Chamber's website, roswellnm.org. Or come by the Chamber of Commerce, or call the Chamber, and we'll get you an application. However, when we need, if we need to email it to you, if we need to, print it off and you come pick it up, or download off the website, whatever we need to do to get it to you, we'll make sure that happens and get those applications in. But before the end of the month, July 31st, 5 p.m., I believe is on
a Wednesday, yes.
Drop dead deadline to get your applications turned in for this class.
They can call me also if they want at 625-2000.
Yeah, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out and talk to the Chamber. And we can get a hold of Rick to reach out to you if you have any other questions to answer. Yeah. If you go to the Chamber, you'll see these purple brochures that really explain most everything we talked about here, and I might have added a few caveats.
And you've got some here. Yeah.
But I invite you to pick a copy up, take it home, and read it, and learn a little bit more if you're looking for more information there, too.
Yeah, and we're already getting applications.
Good.
So, the advice that you've given, that we've given is very important, but why not go ahead and fill it in and get it in early?
Sure.
Yeah. Don't wait till 5 o'clock.
Already done.
Save some people some. There's because we are the land of manana. We're always, as long as I've been here, we've been the land of manana. People like, I ain't gonna worry about that. That's not till next week. I'm not gonna worry about that till next week.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It makes every time we get a day or two out, we're like, I don't know, man. We get enough, and next thing you know, this flood comes in the last day or two of these things.
Yeah.
Help some people out. Get it filled in. So maybe the last week we're not getting a complete flood of those. Maybe, flood them next week.
Slowly,
or something like that. Yeah. Good deal. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate it. And we'll get we'll get you. I think we need to get you back in as we get
closer to the deadline.
To hit the procrastinators. All right, procrastinators. Yeah. Now it's your turn. So,
and we appreciate all you do, Mike.
Anytime.
For our community. I enjoy listening to you every day, and you just do a great job.
Well, thank you. Some days are better than others.
there's good day and better days.
That's right. Absolutely. It is 7:55. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and get you up to date with local news. And then after that, your Chaves County Sports Update brought to you by DSI. That's coming up next. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Forecasters and emergency management officials say more flash flooding is possible Wednesday around Ruidoso. Thunderstorms are again expected to develop across mountain peaks and move south. Storms brought heavy rainfall around the Ruidoso area early Tuesday, and that caused some life-threatening and damaging flash flooding. This coming weekend, the area of high pressure will move over Colorado. Storms will continue to develop across the mountains and higher elevations in the afternoon, but instead move to the west and southwest with the high pressure to the north. A groundbreaking for the new recreation center in Artesia is planned for October 17th. The Daily Press reports the city has already begun the design process. The next step involves adding the engineering components and mechanical and electrical systems to the plans. The rec center footprint has grown some since March due to an increase in the size of the fitness area. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Running a business, operational demands change fast, and keeping up can feel impossible. That's where DSI comes in. We've been helping local businesses thrive for over 25 years. You might know us for printer products, but we're your one-stop shop for cutting-edge office technology, from managed IT to video security, audio-visual technology, and more. DSI has everything you need. We're flexible, local, and have the resources of a national corporation. Be more productive. Make more money. DSI, the heartbeat of business. Visit DSINM.com.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Well, the NMMI Colts sure had a good baseball season this past year, and that is reflected in the all-state selections for Class 3A. The all-state selections, by the way, are trickling in for all classes, so we'll get it to you when we get it. And congratulations to Tegan Maloney from NMMI. All these guys, by the way, are underclassmen. Tegan's a junior. He was selected first-team pitcher and infield. He hit .466 for the season. Also selected to the first team, Nicholas Barsenius, a junior for the Colts. He hit .361. He was picked for the outfield. Honorable mention pitcher Javier Yepes Galendo. He led the team with a .509 average. He was selected. He had 5 homers. And Grant Maloney, a sophomore, hit .508. He was selected honorable mention for the infield as well. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. Federal Reserve is making modest progress in its inflation fight. The head of the U.S. Central Bank told lawmakers Tuesday on the first of 2 days of testimony in Congress. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell told Congress Tuesday the labor market has cooled really significantly across so many measures, a development economists say could make the central bank more likely to lower interest rates soon. Goldman Sachs asset management executives expect the U.S. economy to grow at a slower clip of about 2% in the second half of 2024, with equity indexes seen largely flat due to declining earnings growth and political anxieties. Union Pacific has mostly resumed operations impacted due to Hurricane Beryl in Texas, but expects some disruptions until commercial power and road accessibility are fully restored. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
Hey, good morning. It is 7:59. Stay tuned next hour. We're going to have Brian Luck, superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, join us to give us a recap of what happened at their last school board meeting. Also give us an update what's happening in and around the school district there. So that's coming up next hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Rick Hale's going to join us. It is Rick. We're being Rick-rolled today with all the Ricks. But Rick Hale's going to join us, of course, pastor of Grace Community Church. He is, I guess, hanging up his hat after many, many years of pastoring and running Grace Community Church. So he's going to join us and kind of just chit-chat about what's next for him and all that good stuff. So that's coming up later in the show. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Former President Trump challenging President Biden to another debate. A verbal showdown this week without any moderators.
I'm also officially challenging Cricket Joe to an 18-hole golf match right here. On Doral Blue Monster, considered one of the greatest tournament golf courses anywhere in the world, one of the great courses of the world. It will be among the most watched sporting events in history.
At a Florida rally, Mr. Trump says he'll even give Mr. Biden a 10-stroke advantage and will donate $1 million to a charity of Biden's choice should the president win the match. Insisting that Ukraine will win the war with Russia, President Biden has opened NATO's 75th anniversary summit in Washington.
There was a fanfare for NATO leaders as they arrived at an event to mark the start of the summit. President Biden, who's called NATO the greatest military alliance in history, set the tone of the summit, promising much more needed air defences for Ukraine, including 4 additional Patriot batteries.
The BBC's Jonathan Beale. Hundreds of thousands of utility customers without power along the Texas Gulf Coast following Hurricane Beryl, and that means no air conditioning.
The temperatures are pretty typical for this time of year. If anything, just looking at some of the forecast temperatures, are in the low to mid 90s today, Thursday, Friday, actually a little cooler Friday. And those temperatures are actually at or slightly below average, but I think the fact that there's no power and there are high levels of humidity really make the situation pretty unbearable for parts of Houston.
Bob Oravec at the National Weather Service. Wall Street, the Dow up 7 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
One South Korean lawmaker blames a rise in male suicide on what he says is the increasingly dominant role of women in South Korean society. The BBC's Jean McKenzie is in Seoul.
The councillor Kim Gi-duk's reasoning is as follows. As more women have entered the workforce, it's become harder for men to get jobs and to find women who want to marry them. Suicide prevention experts have slammed Mr. Kim for making dangerous and unsubstantiated remarks. Anti-feminism has surged in South Korea, fueled by disillusioned young men who argue they've been disadvantaged by attempts to improve women's lives. The Korean Women's Trade Union said these comments showed how pervasive misogyny here was.
There's labor unrest in South Korea. Unionized workers at Samsung Electronics have gone on strike. They're demanding the electronics giant pay them more and upgrade their benefits. News and analysis, townhall.com. Don't bother to bring your checkbook if you shop this major retailer.
Target says as of July 15th, it will no longer accept personal checks from shoppers. The discounter tells the AP it's making the move because of the extremely low number of customers who still write checks. Target's decision leaves Walmart, Macy's, and Kohl's among the retailers that still accept personal checks. Whole Foods Market and the Aldi supermarket chain previously stopped taking checks. Shoppers have pulled out checkbooks increasingly less often since the mid-1990s. Cash dispensing ATMs, debit cards, online banking, and mobile payment systems mean many young adults may have never written a check. I'm Mike Hempen.
A jury in New Mexico set to hear opening statements at the involuntary manslaughter trial of actor Alec Baldwin in the fatal shooting of a cinematographer on a movie set. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Do I get to say it? The deuce. It's like my first deuce this week.
That's right. You've been out taking kids to camps.
Mm-hmm. I'm still responsible for one of them getting to camp today, but just the one. So I was able to deuce it.
Well, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well sleep in.
It's an embarrassment of riches is what it is. All this extra time for activities.
So much more time for activities.
Dude, it's so interesting how interesting, but that movie, the quotes from that movie will just work their way. Step Brothers, yeah.
You're not.
Will just work their way into my vernacular. I was just doing a story about how somebody donated $1 billion to Johns Hopkins University to pay for tuition for students whose families make less than $300,000 a year.
Less?
Yeah, less than.
Wow, that's a lot of families.
Any families that make less than $300,000, your student at Johns Hopkins is now tuition free.
Wow.
For the foreseeable future.
Good for them.
And of course, I had to end it with. It was Johnny Kettering, or Johnny Hopkins and Sloan Kettering, and they were hitting that. It just works its way into my vocabulary. I can't help it.
Yep.
Johnny Kettering, Johnny Hopkins, and Sloan Kettering.
I am trying to figure out why Gloria Allred is in Santa Fe discussing the Alec Baldwin trial.
That's a good question. Alec Baldwin is not an attractive female.
Well, it's on our Fox app feed thing, and it just says, Allred on Baldwin trial. This is not a reality show. And then she's pontificating. I can't hear
I'm going to assume that she is the legal representation for the prosecution. The woman who was shot, I'm going to guess it was probably her. She probably represents the family.
Well, the DA's office is that.
I'm not sure that. Maybe she just saw an opportunity and knew there were going to be cameras there.
I know Baldwin's got his little super group. Like, I don't know if it's OJ big, but I hear he's got like some highfalutin attorneys on his side. So
yeah, probably.
I guess they selected the jury and everything, so they're getting ready for open arguments and stuff today. I heard in the news, our news, the Westwood One National News, not our local news, the Westwood One National News, that with the jury selection, 2 of the people are not familiar with the case. How is there 2 people in Santa Fe, New Mexico, not familiar with the Alec Baldwin shooting someone case?
Well, there's certain people that just aren't that connected to,
Are you in a bubble buried underground? How do you not stumble upon something? Turning on the news, opening your phone, doing something.
Well, there's also levels of, I know what happened, but I don't know anything beyond that.
No, these people had no knowledge of it. Like, shooting? What? I do not know of which you speak. The shooting, Alec Baldwin.
Anyway,
the guy from 40 Rock shot somebody.
It does seem like you should be at least know a little bit about that, even if you're not tapped into national news that happened in Santa Fe.
Yeah, I mean, All I can think of is this like Blast in the Past, where they were literally living in a vault and they just popped them outright and said, popped them for jury duty.
Well, and also in fairness, we work in media, so we sort of are like, it falls on us. There's other people out there who just don't tap into anything in society.
I guess, but dang.
Jehovah's Witnesses, for example, they don't watch a lot of TV. They don't really, know about the outside world.
But I guess they get popped for jury duty.
That's right.
So, okay, I'll get that. I'll give you that.
So maybe it was just
I'll give you that.
Witnesses that were.
I wonder how many people on the jury try really hard to get on the jury for, hey, I was on the Alec Baldwin jury. I'm going to write my book. I'm going to do the circuit of TV and TikTok and all this other stuff and make my 15 minutes here.
There's probably a few people like that. I know somebody who
maybe that's what Gloria Allred's doing.
There you go. I know somebody who actively wants to get on jury duty because they really love other people's drama.
Yeah.
They love knowing the inside scoop on other people's drama.
Everyone's got a little nosy in them.
No.
Yes.
I'm good. Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a little nosy in them.
It depends on where that nosiness happens to fall. But I don't really, busy myself with others' tea,
I try not to,
right.
And I don't, but I'm also the same guy that scrolls on Twitter and stops at watching the fights. All the other stuff that's on there too, I ain't that highfalutin or I ain't that high and mighty. But generally speaking, people start gossiping. I'm like, unless it's like really good.
Mm-hmm.
But generally people, did you see that? I don't care.
Yeah, I have too much going on in my own life. I don't want to busy myself with your stuff.
Right. But then you obligate me to now put me into something that I may not want to be in.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell nobody, but did you hear this, what so-and-so did? It's like, no, I don't want to be put in that now I know, and now I'm going to see this person have to pretend I don't know, but I know.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you put that on me?
Why are you going to put that evil on me? I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's like, I'm perfectly happy in my bubble.
Yeah.
I'm good over here.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I'll dip a toe into other people's, information or issues just because, curiosity killed the cat. But
absolutely.
But otherwise, I pretty much like staying in my bubble.
Yeah. But then again, I will sit on the bench, eat popcorn, and watch the show.
People watch like a son of a gun. By the way, I have to call Greg out in the chat. They've been having a lot of fun in the chat, just back and forth in song titles. It started with Kim and Ayana.
Is this all New Kids related? Okay.
Well, Kim wants you to know that she's forever your girl. And then Ayana checking in. Well, opposites attract. And Greg checking in back down here. He said, opposites attract. Sometimes it's just blowing kisses in the wind. That's another song. Just don't rush to where you become a cold-hearted snake.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Parents just don't understand.
What's really sad about that is that's two songs I completely forgot that I know almost every word to. Rush and Cold-Hearted Snake.
It's going to be a long night.
It is going to be Mike, you need to get a pennant. Like one of those, like a flag. Maybe one that just says, I don't want to be here.
Them $30 hot dogs are looking pretty good right now. Let me go get me one of them.
But it's part of the concert experience. And this is one of the things I'm most excited about for my next week is, the show is going to be fun, but you're amongst like-minded people. Maybe not so much in your case.
Not me.
Maybe not so much in the case
I am
for tonight.
unlike-minded in this group.
But do you have any idea how frustrating it is when I say that, when I talk about my favorite band or that I'm going to go see this show and I say the name of the band and they say, who's that?
Right.
Well, now I got to hum a few bars for you. It's nice to be amongst like-minded people,
right.
Where I say like a line to a song and somebody be like, hey.
That's why I like Metallica. I don't have to explain that one. People know.
Well, yeah, you just walk around, ending all your sentences and
yeah.
Ooh. And then, you're amongst your people.
I'm going to confiscate, discriminate, violate. So did I do that on the radio? I was like, there's like a whole couple songs now where that's kind of the Hetfield thing there.
You've done it. You've tapped on it once or twice, but don't worry, you didn't exacerbate.
Set your rate.
We have not been over. Set your rate.
All right. I'm sure Brian's tired of listening to us, so we probably should wrap it up.
He's got business.
He does. He's a busy man.
He's right.
Brian Luck, superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, going to join us here in just a few. Give us a recap of what happened at last school board meeting and update on what's happening in and around the district this morning.
I know after something happens, you have a meeting called a postmortem. Since the school year's about to start, would this be like a pre-mortem?
Maybe. I don't know.
Right before the death?
We'd like to do a pre-death examination.
I just want to know how close we're talking here.
For just to say pre-mortem.
It's fun.
That's the only reason. It is 8:15. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We still have that flow of moist air coming in from the southwest, and that means some showers and thunderstorms for us today. Mid-90s on the afternoon high, and some of those storms could be severe with large hail and damaging wind. A few thunderstorms and upper 60s for the overnight hours. A mix of sun and clouds coming up on Thursday, mid-90s, and some afternoon thunderstorms. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 75 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 54%. Winds currently out of the west at 9 miles per hour. There is, as Steve mentioned, a 30% chance at some afternoon scattered showers and thunderstorms. They're talking after 3 today. But like Steve said, some of these storms could be severe. Sunny otherwise with a high of 95 today and south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 30% chance at scattered showers and thunderstorms before 9 p.m. this evening as well. Again, some of those storms could be severe. Partly cloudy, expect an overnight low of 68 degrees with winds out of the southwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Thursday, there is a 20% chance at afternoon isolated showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny, 96 for a high with winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny and a high of 97, winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny, hot, high of 97. And for Sunday, sunny, hot, high of 97. So I sense a pattern there. I'll let you figure it out. All right, it is 8:17. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Brian Luck, superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Oh! Shooters, mark your calendars for the H.F. Sinclair 3rd Annual Freedom Clay Shoot, July 12th and 13th at the Eddy County Shooting Range, benefiting the Artesia FFA. Main event is Saturday. Registration at 7 a.m. 1 in 4 participants win prizes, gun boards, raffles, and lunch included. There's an option Friday night light shoot with $40 individual rounds. Details and registration info at artesiachamber.com. Deadline is July 1st. The 3rd Annual H.F. Sinclair Freedom Clay Shoot, July 12th and 13th at the Eddy County Shooting Range.
Summertime fun is almost done, and you know what that means.
Oh, back to school.
Roswell Honda's Back to School Bash, Saturday, July 27th from 10 to 1. Register your kids now for the free backpack giveaway. Then join Roswell Honda Saturday, July 27th for free hot dogs, ice-cold Pepsi products, plus face painting, snow cones, jolly jumps, and prizes galore. But that's not all. Roswell Honda will be giving away backpacks chock full of school supplies. Spaces won't last, so sign up fast. The Back to School Bash, Saturday, July 27th at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Pressure Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and all positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screening. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please apply in person at 2702 North Freeman in Artesia, New Mexico. Equal Opportunity Employer.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
It's hot, and Maze Lumber in Roswell is your BioGuard headquarters for your swimming pool. Maze is your headquarters for chlorine, including pool generators, and Soft Swim by BioGuard for your non-chlorine products. Maintain your pool this summer the right way for a season full of smiles instead of headaches. Let your pool sparkle all summer long with Maze Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell.
You can count on Maze Lumber Company.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, Brian Luck, back with us. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How's your summer going?
Fast.
Yeah. Now, I know the school board and the superintendent don't really have a summer vacation per se, like teachers and students do. But I imagine at the same time, there is the less downtime. 9 to 5-ish, I got to be at the office at a certain time. There's a little more flexibility there, I'm guessing. Right?
There's a feel. And it's nice. When I went from the classroom where I had lived my whole life, being off in summers to a 242 employee, I was pretty puckered up. I wasn't really excited about it, but it is a different vibe. It's kind of like I heard something on the radio the other day about, your Fridays in the summer and in businesses and casual Fridays, and we leave at lunch on Fridays and different things, but no, it's a little bit of a downtime. We're still active, but no, there's a definite different vibe when the kids aren't in the buildings.
Yeah, it's
even for us and that don't have any kids in the buildings. So
and I certainly know that with my wife as a teacher. It's teachers. Kids in building, teachers, not kids in building.
Yes, sir.
They're two different people.
Yes, sir. Well, and it's amazing how quickly you can get used to not.
Yes.
That first week of vacation for your teachers, and boy, they're summer mode like right now.
Yeah.
And it's, it is what it is when they come back to work, and it takes, a month or so for everybody to kind of get their act together, but it only takes like an hour for everybody to get in summer mode.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. It's when you're excited to do something. But, and this is where, because my wife's going into her, 23rd, I can't remember now, 27th year, I think is what it is. She's that prepper type. She, the moment she gets the key from her principal, she's usually in the classroom doing something. Yes. That's just how her brain is, and she'll literally spend all day doing that, and then when it's time for her to actually be there doing it, that stuff's done, and she's just working on, lesson plans and paperwork. Whereas I've seen it where other teachers and other class, they're still moving furniture, and my wife's usually just sitting there, dotting the I's.
Lesson planning and doing things.
So that's the experience of a teacher been doing it for almost 30 years versus probably one that started this year.
That's interesting, and some of it you've got a difference in like a secondary mindset and a primary, like an elementary mindset, and a lot of it's just by necessity. Your elementary schools, they've got so much that they have put up and so many things that they've got. They do that. They start quite a bit earlier.
Yeah.
The high school guys, I came through the business with some people that would walk in the door day one and they'd be like, okay, I'm going to put a new football calendar up on my wall. All right, we're good enough. Let's go.
That's right. We're decorated.
Books are down the hall. We'll have the kids go get those when they get here, and let's get after it.
Change the Christmas tree freshener in the locker room and let's do it.
That's right. And it, been there, done that. Guilty of some of that myself. But it's neat. It's that time. I hope everybody gets to enjoy the last few weeks here of their break.
Yeah, of course. August 1, kids are back in action here. So
and I was afraid we'd start here, but we'll just go there. I was talking with the board the other night at the meeting, and I reminded them. I said, okay, we had our calendar committee crew come in, and they picked. Well, let me backtrack. We had to get our 188 days. That period, 188.
That's not negotiable.
That was a not negotiable, and the group really was heavy for not coming back after Memorial Day. And it's like, okay, if you want to stop here and you want a full week at spring break and you want the full 2 at Christmas, and the negotiable piece to this was the 2 days at Thanksgiving. Do you want a full week off, or are you willing to come in Monday, Tuesday?
And most people seem to like that. Hence the reason we go this direction.
That was interesting because we hadn't always done that. I mean, that was not a 5+ year thing that we had done, and it's amazing how quickly that became just what we're going to do. So that was the direction they went. Plus, we have a election holiday that we have never had. And so, and I do the calendar and I say, okay, if you bump us 3 days further, we're not starting until the 6th at that point for the kids. And that feels better.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, it's 3 days, guys. I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
But majority rules, and that's what the way the tea leaves kind of were going now.
And, right now, and I've had a lot of people talk about, year-round school and different things. And I said, I'm not thinking Roswell's so much a fan of that yet. And to be honest, I'm not either. So we're going to try to continue to do what we do. And, it's the days of starting school in September and being out, 2 weeks before Memorial Day, they're long gone. So this is what it looks like.
Sure. And I'm I've got a foot in both. Like, sure. I mean, the summer, the tradition, like all that too, but at the same time, I do see the positives of saying where you take more smaller breaks and goes to school year round. I can also see the benefits of that too. Where I don't know which one's better. I have no idea. I'm not hardly qualified to decide something like that.
I don't know. I haven't done a lot of work in that. Just like I said, just because I personally am not really a fan. However, if the research showed, and if somebody came down the line and said, you shall, we'll get after it.
Then you got to do it, right?
I do know this. I know we've tried some things in the past here in Roswell, like laid in on a Wednesday at the high school so that we could do some prep stuff, or a couple different things where we're going to take this small amount of time off or that amount of time so that our teachers can do some training. And you talk about upsetting the apple cart. I mean, people are fairly conditioned for, we go at 8, we're done by 3. It's every day.
Institutionalized. Get that, but you're in the routine.
That one, I'll be very blunt. I mean, a year-round thing would take a lot of. It'd be a huge community effort on.
And I could see where it makes sense from their perspective too, because teachers, especially the younger age kids, it's all about routine, patterns, getting them to know all of that, and anything that challenges that, they're not going to be for that, and that makes sense because that's especially those early years where you're trying to get the most, fundamental stuff in them. A lot of it's about, all right, it's time, that's why when the teachers do the class, talk, that's all teaching them patterns and things so they know what to do when this moment hits, and all that.
It's interesting. You brought up your wife a second ago and how long she's taught. That'd be a tough sell too.
I'm sure she would not be a fan of it.
Well, I'm not saying her specifically, but though they're professionals first and foremost. They know their craft, and they've got a really good idea. And I know a lot of times, you get conversations, and I've heard it, I've said it. Why didn't they just ask us? We're the ones in the classroom.
Absolutely.
And they're spot on when it comes to that. And it is. It's a lot of them have it laid out. I know from this week to this week, we're going to do this, and then by that time we should be done. And if we're not, we're going to go do this. And so
that's what makes the oars in the boat go there. So
it is. It is. And that, when you start deviating from that sense of normalcy, people don't like that.
And look at COVID. Yes, I mean, granted, we did what we could with what we had and how we did it, but we did lose a bunch from that COVID. We I think we're all, I don't know if we're fully recovered from it, but I think we're close to that. But it made a huge impact, especially on that window of children that were starting school in that time.
Right.
And to go to some of the things that we learned we could do there, I don't know if is the best effective way to do some of this stuff.
I think it's really safe to say we're past it, and what we're left with is just where we're at.
Sure.
And I think that's really just society in general. And the more you try to fight and go, no, if it'll just go back, I don't know that it is. I mean, it's not in our world, it's not. And, and so, I think we've come up and said, okay, this is who we are. This is our new norm. It's our new standard. And forget what we would like to say about what we think of it. Let's just go. We got stuff to deal with.
And to be honest, I mean, what the future holds, who knows? As technology and things evolve, that's going to evolve how school's taught too. Because I can guarantee you right now, people that are 30s, 40s, 50s, a classroom at an elementary level looks completely different today than it did when you were in it. and it's going to look completely different 20 years down the road. So how we do things and what technology allows us, who knows? Maybe at that point we're all holograms in a room together like Marvel. Who knows? I don't know. But, the technology is going to dictate some of that in the future.
What's interesting, I know I am not of the mindset if I see a problem, my first go-to is not a YouTube video to see how to fix it.
Right.
And there are several that are. I went to a training.
I think it's a generational thing.
And I do too.
Yeah.
I know that one of the trainings I went to, we were doing master schedule building, and the lady, she didn't even stutter. She said, if they can YouTube this, why are you teaching it? And that stuck, and I was just like, I sat there literally for like the next 2 hours, and I just had this internal conflict. I was like, why are we doing that?
Yeah.
I mean, if they can, and then it made sense, and I was like, but not everybody will do that kind of a deal. So then you're left with, okay, how do you push those that will and still hit those that won't?
Yeah.
So it is an interesting time. I mean, it is definitely different.
Sure.
And it'd be nice to be around down the road, years from now, just to see what an elementary classroom looks like 20 years from now.
Well, and I think, we're going to be challenging, like you said, the people have been doing it 30, 40 years at this craft. They know because they've done it every day. And then when someone comes to try to tell you, oh, this is a new way that'll work better, it's like, whatever. How long you been doing this again? 2 years, 5 years, or what? You know what I mean? And here's the thing: both are right.
Right.
Both are correct.
Well,
yes, that 30 years of experience is going to trump. But at the same time, there's sometimes a different way to skin a cat, so to speak. Here, you know what I mean?
I've coined a new phrase, and it says, "I'm not real sure if you're right, but I don't think you're wrong."
Yeah.
And everybody just kind of looks at me when I say this, and no, wait. I'm like, there's, like you said, there's multiple ways to get to some of the problems that we've got.
Sure.
And I think that, unfortunately, a lot of times, and education is for sure like that. We get so hemmed in on, no, it can't be like that. And if you think like that, you must be an outside of the box, one of those really, really radical thinkers. And it's like, that's not necessarily the case. You need that to kind of push.
Sure.
I heard you guys a while ago talking about your comfort zone, and I laughed. I was like, I don't even know what that is.
That thing got ripped up, shredded, left.
That's been gone a long time ago. So, no, it's a neat time for us in education, and the season of your summer break, and your people and our custodians are getting out and they're getting the buildings cleaned up, and we've got 2 or 3 paint crews that are going through and putting fresh coats of paints in places, and just a lot of business as usual, and it feels good.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll get past the whole we start 3 days before we normally do, but
well, guess what? When you're in November, it don't matter anymore, does it? You're already thinking about your Thanksgiving break. And
I'm
all
hoping
that
they enjoy the Thanksgiving break. And it's not lost on me. I mean, when you're in a room with kids, and it's a grind, and if you really enjoy that group of kids, it makes everything so much easier. But not every room is like that. Sure. So we do the best we can.
Well, and you're dealing with 20 people that have way more energy than you do.
Well, that is no lie. That is no lie. I'm doing the math in my head, and I want to say it'll be 2037. We're fixing to walk in the graduating class of 2037. I mean, that's pretty incredible when you think about it like that.
I know. Well, when I think of those kinds of numbers, and I look back at mine, and I'm like, man, I'm old now. Man,
yes,
what
sir.
happened? Because I graduated in '91, so and. To me, that doesn't seem that long ago. But then I hear people that were born like in the 90s that are adults now, and I'm like, wait a minute. I graduated high school and was like an adult before you were even born.
Yes, sir.
Oh man.
I started last year's admin meetings with AC/DC song, and I said okay. And so I had everybody get out their phones, and I said, all right, so this song right here, and the year that it was popular was this year right here. I said, I graduated in 1990. I said, and this song was number one, and I think it was like 15 or 20 years prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I said, but we played this at our ball games. And they're like, okay. I said, do the math now. It's still popular. It will somehow, some way, I ended up back with, at our 1990s basketball games, if you had played a song that was that far old, and I played it, and it was like a song from 1942, and everybody just looked, and I said, "That's how it's interesting how fast things have changed."
Yeah,
I was like, "You'd have never thought that then, but now, with the way technology is and the way you have the access to stuff, it's interesting."
It is too. But looking at the time here, is there any highlights from last board meeting we want to make sure we do definitely cover and talk about here?
And I'm not that the 2-hour meeting, actually a pretty quick one for us.
But 2 hours is not too bad, is it?
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Pretty light.
Got a lot accomplished. Some keynotes for us. Number one, we introduced Cynthia Sanchez. She is the new principal of Pecos Elementary. She replaces Dr. Barbara Ryan, who I'm pretty sure opened the building. No, she didn't. But Barbara had been there forever and was
she was a stalwart at that.
Oh man, I tell you, in the community. Yeah. I mean, I watched her. I've had some parent meetings where she walked in and literally it just amazed. Once she walked in the door, everything changed.
Sure.
So we wish her the best of luck. I think she's headed up to Albuquerque to spend some time with the grandkids. Cynthia's going to come in.
Move where the kids are. That's
right.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Cynthia's going to do a great job. She's been with us for quite a while.
Well, it sounds like she got big shoes to fill. So we're rooting for her and everything because that's. I don't envy her because that's one of the hardest things to do when you're replacing someone that was an icon or a staple at that position. Like next hour we got Rick Hale on, and the man that's going to be taking over next week, I'm sure is a great individual. But he's coming after Rick Hale. You know what I mean? It's kind of, and this is kind of the same deal here.
I laughed driving in here. I was like, you squeezed me between the two Ricks. What am I supposed to am I the filler? I mean,
change your name to Rick.
Rick
Luck here with us.
I think I'm just the filler guy here for this hour-long
You're the meat in the sandwich.
Cynthia was announced that she's going to do a great job. The big one that we did, we had a second to honor our cafeteria staff, Kim Meeks, our food services.
They are superheroes over there.
And I'm going to tell you right now, and you were mentioning the fire, so we specifically related it to that. Our student nutrition crew provided meals for the Ruidoso evacuees, 11,200 breakfast meals, 11,200 lunch meals delivered to the Ruidoso Convention Center, 600 meals provided to Hondo Church in addition to different various places here in town, the fairgrounds, the Institute, Encanto Center, ENMUR. When that happened, it was interesting because we got in touch with the city. They had resources out the wazoo.
I was about to say, did they ever try to reach out to you guys? Hey, is there any schools we can tap into?
We did. We were ready. Mm-hmm. And thank you, Eastern Roswell. Thank you, the Institute. Thank you to the Civic Center.
Just weren't needed.
We weren't, but we did pony up the cafeteria staff and food services.
I'm sure they were all hands on deck for needing people cooking food.
They delivered food right now. And
I'm sure your kitchens are one of the few equipped in the area that can handle those kind of numbers and volumes too. So,
yes, sir. And they didn't even hesitate. I know they took the day they took the 22,000 meals up to Ruidoso. It was in one truck, and it was just a great effort by them.
Did they put them on the yellow trays with just like?
No. No, I couldn't get them to do that, but they didn't even hesitate, and
that's awesome.
They were able to work together.
Wow.
You were talking about the collaboration.
Yeah,
witnessed it firsthand, and just did what they needed to do. So we're super proud of them.
I've had a great opportunity to talk to Kim Meeks here and her counterpart in Hagerman, Shelley Montgomery, both. What those ladies do with food and getting it to our kids and doing this, and I'm sure Shelley was probably equally involved in the stuff with Ruidoso, just like Kim was here too. These people are real heroes here, and And when we talk about the summer programs for students and food, this is all Kim Meeks and her staff making this stuff happen during the summer. So, you know what? We talk about school, and I was like, is it a little quiet in the summer? Our cafeteria staff, no, they probably ramp up more even so during the summer here.
Well, and you look out there and you drive by some of the food locations, like the Aquatic Center is one that comes to my mind, that right there at the skate park. They have a little tent sometimes. Sometimes they'll just sit under the tree, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. That
it's 105.
Yeah, and do it with a smile on their face. 2 vendors that were specifically mentioned in her report that I felt like I wanted to make sure that I honored them: Cisco, and I think it's Labatt, 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 and that they helped with additional food at the last minute.
Okay,
and again, that was probably the last thing that those vendors were thinking was coming from us. And they didn't even hesitate either. I mean, when I called and said, hey, are we even going to be able to get food? She says, it's already on the way.
That's awesome.
And then we were actually able to get it up to Ruidoso so that we could, once they lifted the evacuation ban and the people were able to go back up there, they were still going to need things.
Nice.
And so we were actually able to get it up there. But
so, was there special food brought in for this, or was it just food that you guys already had marked for the school year? We're going to cook that up and serve it, and they're going to replace it with this other stuff.
No, we had to get some additional stuff.
Gotcha.
Headed here, and like I said, it didn't even take long. I mean, that was one of those that people kind of dropped everything they were doing,
sure,
and they were ready to rock and roll. I mean,
that's why I figured this quicker. They may be like, hey, fire up the pizzas, let's get them going, and we get them burritos. Yeah.
Well, and we have a pretty substantial school lunch program still in the summer, and so when the day one, what I would say, they increased for kids,
sure, to
make sure that any displaced kiddo that walked up there was not going to walk away hungry, and then they were actually able to help out. It was interesting, I mean, the whole how does this work, how does that work. Reached out to Dr. Romero, our head of our public education department. I said, hey, I've known him for years. Doc, how does this work? And he said, well, hang on, I'm with the governor. And I was just like, yeah, I say that all the time. And so we called back in a little bit, and we got everything worked out. But it's a bad situation, and the town it stepped up tons. There's so many people that you can't quit thinking.
Sure. I'm genuinely curious, and I know it might be too early to tell, but I'm going to take a stab that there's going to be some folks that were evacuated from Ruidoso area that aren't coming back to Ruidoso. They're probably going to settle here. Do you think this might impact school numbers a little bit?
We have talked about that.
Yeah.
From preliminary, Mrs. Cole, who our head of instruction and curriculum, was boots on the ground at the college and at the Civic Center and a couple of different places. We don't necessarily feel like we would get a massive,
not enough to notice,
not a Katrina type bump.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
We're ready for them, and we'll work with them. We have several programs that are already in place for our kiddos that would help them in that event, and resources out the wazoo that are ready to help should that happen.
And I know that, and to be honest, and this is like it, love it or hate it, based on how many students the district has is how many bucks they get from the, that's part of the equation too. So more students also means more money. So if you want to put a glass half full spin on the kind of thing, that's, it does mean more money and more stuff for the district when you do get more students coming in.
Well, and it's interesting you say that. I mean, let's take the fire and get rid of that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just never know when you get a summer and there may be an influx of kids that come from we don't know where.
Sure.
And they show up here for whatever reason, and you weren't preparing for that. We meet quarterly with our principals as far as their pupil to teacher ratios, their PTR meetings. And so we've always got a pretty good handle on, okay, where's this, what's that? This housing development's going up. Okay, what's the potential for that particular school? What kind of building needs do we have? What kind of facilities, master plans do we have if this happened? How many portables do we have?
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready? Are we not ready? What would be a turnkey time to add 5 extra rooms at this building? So and I work with a phenomenal group of people that everyone has a little different piece and a component that they have to worry about for that, and it makes it so much nicer for me. I mean, I don't have to be that's their jobs, and
sure.
they keep me in the loop.
You can rely on their expertise.
It kind of flips. They keep me in the loop until we have to make major decisions, versus I'm keeping them in the loop on some of that stuff.
Sure.
So I really appreciate that.
And at the end of the day, that's where, as superintendent, you don't know how to make the sausage in every facet of the school district, and that's where you got to rely on the experts. Say, hey, this is what our turnaround, right. This is what I recommend, and then you look at the other logistics and say, you know what, that jives and it works out in the big plan. Let's do it that way.
When you piece it all together, so we've got our vacancy list. That was one of my presentations the other night that we gave. Give or take, total vacancies 101. That includes coaches, cafeteria staff, substitute teachers. But we're looking.
Is that average on about average?
Actually, it's a little lower. It's a little lower.
Okay.
We're running.
Yeah, there's been some years where you guys were really needing teachers here. Yeah.
Yes, and then we've got roughly about 38 certified. What I would say that would be like your teachers.
Gotcha.
Vacancies right now going into it. I have several of my elementary schools that have 0 vacancies. To the best of my knowledge, I have none of them with 3 or more. And my largest school in town, which would be Roswell High, has the vacancy rate of 6 right now.
That's not
for
bad.
Certified teachers, which is pretty good considering they've got close to 75, 80 teachers.
Yeah. Do you get an influx of hires at the end where there's just teachers that were, I don't know, weighing their options and then finally say, yeah, I'm going to commit here or commit there? Is that a thing? Or no?
We do to a point. When I first came on board, I was fortunate to be the recipient, and I say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little bit of money that we were able to do a pretty good raise on our own. And then the year after that, the state comes in and says, thou shall. And so it was basically doubled from the when I first came in before the first race happened. And then in the last year, we had another small bump. But it's been substantial as far as a lot of our teachers are like, you know what, I can do 5 like that. If that's going to be, this is what it's going to look like down the road, or people that will move in, and I was going to work in this district, but holy cow, look at your salary.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get a lot of that. We put a freeze every year, give or take, I want to say it's like 25 or 30 days out of the start of the year locally.
Gotcha.
Where you can't move back and forth.
So you can't play that game.
This year it was July 5th. So after July 5th, if you're in a building, unless it's a promotion, you're staying in that building.
Gotcha.
So
makes sense.
It helps.
But I know, because that's the thing, because teachers, it's a competitive. Law enforcement and teachers, they hire from each other all the time because it's, where's the grass always greener, and they play that game all the time with those folks. So I didn't know if that was a thing that you guys had to deal with.
Right now, the only greener grass is in Carlsbad.
Gotcha.
And we go back and forth with them. I think we were a year and a half-ish where we were above them, and then they came back in. And it is, I've got some family that work in Texas right now, and it's, when I say $15,000 to $20,000 difference, I mean it. So,
and just from my own personal experience as a guy in my 50s, money isn't always the best. I know a lot of people, money and all that, but sometimes taking less money for a better work environment is, for your own sake and mental health and overall happiness, is probably the better way. I'm just saying, so if you're ready to bolt to Carlsbad, I'm like, yeah, but what are you leaving for something that may be worse? What, who knows what you're running into down there? And that's, when you meet a boss that you don't get along with, next thing you know, your job, you're making more money, but every day you're coming home and bending the ear on your spouse all the time.
I think of where it's really helped us is our group that would hit the maybe the 23, 24, 25 year mark that could theoretically leave at 25, but they did the math with their retirement planner, and when they sat down, they were just like, okay, wait a minute, say that again, say that number again.
Yeah.
If I stay to here, and a lot of it is just that means it. And one of the things that we're hoping that we get out of that is, there's no substitute for a veteran that has been in the room, that knows what they're doing. That doesn't mean that,
because when those weird situations hit, they're the ones that are the calm in the storm.
Well, and they in a crapshoot kind of with a new teacher. You may get the biggest diamond in the rough.
Sure.
But, statistics show that usually if you could keep this one here, that's always the better option.
Sure.
There'd be a time and a place for the other one. And that's really where that salary has kicked in.
And the young teachers, you need that because that brings the energy, excitement. It pushes the envelope to better education for us up. But at the same time, you need the veterans that say, yeah, that was a fun concept, but this is how it really works in the classroom.
Right.
And they can delineate and differentiate that for the young teachers out there.
Well, it's helped out quite a bit.
Sure.
And I know looking at like our HR department, I mean, we've had a pretty smooth summer as far as that goes. It's always pretty busy, getting a person onboarded and doing things. I was talking with a lady that applied to be an EA literally, I think it was Monday. And she walked in, she applied. They took her in, they set her down on a computer. They had a little bit of time in between an appointment. Hey, you passed. Come here. Fill out your background stuff. So, I mean, we're miles ahead of where we've been as far as getting people onboarded. I really appreciate that. Our payroll department, I mean, our CWA, our collective bargaining with our custodial union and our teachers union, all of that took place well before we hit May last year. So all of the salary schedules are in.
Yeah.
Everything should start.
The ducks are lined up.
Should.
We just got to wave the green flag for it to go pretty much.
Boy, that's a good one. I'll bring a green flag. But a lot of the little things that stepping back and you go, well, that's not that big of a deal, but boy, it is a big deal to some.
Yeah.
We think we have, taped up all of those particular spots. So
address those issues and.
Well, and we've had years where we've still been in negotiations into, October with the unions and you say, well, what difference does it make? They're going to get their pay. It's retroactive, blah, blah, blah. But the problem there is then for the next 10, 11 pay periods or paychecks, it's this inflated amount. And then the year we come back, when it's spread out over all the numbers, they feel like they got less.
Sure.
Because it's a smaller check. And,
right.
And that kind of.
So it's almost like they feel like you got a demotion.
And it does. Even though it's not true,
yeah.
You can't tell somebody, well, my check's smaller.
Sure.
Yeah, but we broke that out over. So, okay, let's fix that.
Yeah.
So that one's taken care of.
And it's because, with teachers, they work, they get paid over 10 months. That's why it's like this. And that's why. So if you don't have a job where you work this doesn't probably resonate with you, but for teachers, it does.
Well, it's interesting when you think about how they pull their salaries in, and that as a son of a teacher, I remember going down to Chisholm, where the old central office, and my mom would get 6, hand copy checks right there, bam, 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 and that was it for the summer.
And they still do, like we're like during the summer. You may not get all your summer checks, but you might get 2 at a time or 3 at a time. They used to. I remember when Kim and I first were, she'd literally get the entire summers, and it's wonderful. But if you have no discipline, it's going to be a weak summer.
There's a reason why the credit union sets a state record for signature loans every August. That's right.
Absolutely. We're running short on time, but I do want to ask update on construction at the district office. How's that going? I know I see the fences and everything.
Yes.
How's that going along?
We should. Right now, we're on cue for a late August move-in. Okay. We've got painting going on. They've got, I think, the last floor that they're working on painting right now. They're doing drop ceilings, new lighting, new air ducts, etc. Hopefully be ready to rock and roll with that, like I said, by the end of August. Our plan right now is that last week of August to start moving in my staff back, and I cannot wait for that.
I'm sure excited.
You and me both. New digs. Mesa Middle School, we're working, landscape is finishing up, waiting on the grass to grow, continuing to troubleshoot, minor construction things that have popped up inside their Mountain View Design Committee. Second meeting coming up, I believe, in another week. So, things are moving, things are rolling. We're doing our diligence as far as staying on time with our construction projects so that our bond rating stays like it needs to, so that we can continue to do that. Again, thank you to the town. I mean, we have funded that with bonds and PSFA from our state revenues, and thank you. I can't thank them enough.
Well, it's all working as advertised, and of course, now we're just now getting in the groove, and a couple weeks away we'll be back into the school year and talking about football and track and field, and all the fall sports and everything else.
Ready to go. Probably bring in new Goddard football coach Art Bolaños. Maybe let Art and Jeff talk a little bit about their season. And
fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I won't be in between them, but I'll let them talk.
That would be fun. Because for those who know, they've worked hand in hand for many a moving here, and now they're across the field from each other. This is like a movie.
I hope not. As a person that gets charged with all of that stuff, I like good games. I mean, I love Goddard Roswell competitions, but it amazes me still to this day. And I grew up here, so I mean, it's not a new thing for me, but it does kind of amaze me, and I'm just like, it's just a game.
Yeah. Well, we're pretty blessed to have not one but two pretty good football teams every year. If not both of them, at least one of them are usually in it for a title run here.
Yep.
So we're pretty lucky to have that kind of football.
We're spoiled.
And stuff around here.
We're spoiled as well. I mean, it's easy to get that way whenever things go well.
Kind of iron sharpens iron in that situation, I think, a little bit there.
But looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next month, and
Yes, sir.
I guess by the next time we see you, we'll be full on schooling and everything. So.
Don't say that next to her.
I'll just say, whoa, hanging tough and short. Thank you, Brian.
All right, thank you.
All right, it is 8:55. Let's get you into local news and a quick commercial break before more not local news. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Forecasters and emergency management officials say more flash flooding is possible Wednesday around Ruidoso. Thunderstorms are again expected to develop across mountain peaks and move south. Storms brought heavy rainfall around the Ruidoso area early Tuesday, and that caused some life-threatening and damaging flash flooding. This coming weekend, the area of high pressure will move over Colorado. Storms will continue to develop across the mountains and higher elevations in the afternoon, but instead move to the west and southwest with the high pressure to the north. A groundbreaking for the new recreation center in Artesia is planned for October 17th. The Daily Press reports the city has already begun the design process. The next step involves adding the engineering components and mechanical and electrical systems to the plans. The rec center footprint has grown some since March due to an increase in the size of the fitness area. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
There are 3 key phrases that need to be spoken on a regular basis in a healthy marriage. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, for over 20 years, Julie and I have been sharing these 3 key phrases, and here they are. I love you, I'm sorry, and I forgive you.
Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God forgave you.
You know, it's so easy to expect others to love us, to say I'm sorry, and to forgive us. But you know, it's really a gift that we give each other. You know, the Bible teaches us we sow and we reap. Sow into your spouse, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. And then you'll reap a harvest in return. Someone has to start the process. Let that be you today so you can really enjoy your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Celebrate freedom. Celebrate huge savings with 0% financing. More for your trade and no payments till October during the Red, White, and Blue sales event at the all-new Roswell Ford. With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. $15.15 per thousand finance on selected Ford models with approved credit.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender, loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. Fergalicious. In fact, they're downright funky. Fergalicious. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2668.
Fergalicious. Anniversary summit in Washington by announcing more weaponry for Ukraine. 5 additional air defense systems to fend off Russian attacks. Mr. Biden is trying to fend off calls from fellow Democrats for him to quit the presidential race. In a rally in Florida, former President Trump took note of the Democrats' dismay, saying Republicans are united.
Meanwhile, the radical left Democrat Party is divided in chaos and having a full-scale breakdown, all because they can't decide which of their candidates is more unfit to be president. Sleepy, crooked Joe Biden or laughing Kamala.
Former president challenging Mr. Biden to an unmoderated debate and a charity golf match. Mr. Trump leads Vice President Harris by 6 points. A new Emerson poll that pits the former president against his likely rivals. Utility crews working to restore power to hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses along the Texas Gulf Coast following Hurricane Beryl. No electricity means no air conditioning, and Harris County Commissioner Leslie Briones says that could prove deadly for some.
It is over 100 degrees. It's going to hit 106, 108 with the heat index. And so when you're in this hot, humid condition, and whether it's our seniors, whether it's individuals with health vulnerabilities that may need to plug in oxygen tanks, not having power is just, the heat is oppressive.
And what's left of Beryl is closing in on parts of the Great Lakes and the Northeast. Watch for the possibility of flooding rains, high winds, even the possibility of tornadoes. A teen shot and wounded by deputy U.S. Marshals during what authorities say was an attempted carjacking happened outside the D.C. home of Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Wall Street, the Dow is up 26 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Food delivery drivers.
DoorDash has received complaints about drivers. Officials in Boston are reporting an increase in motorcycle, moped, and motorized scooter drivers running red lights, traveling the wrong way down a one-way street, speeding, and driving on sidewalks. DoorDash is partnering with the city of Boston to make it faster and easier to process requests for drivers' records. Drivers could be removed if police report they have broken the law. DoorDash is considering expanding the program to other cities. The company wouldn't say how many drivers it typically removes from its platform each year for breaking traffic laws. I'm Ed Donahue.
China's Commerce Ministry launching an investigation of whether unfair trade practices were adopted by the European Union in its probe of Chinese companies. It is apparent retaliation for investigations by the EU against Chinese companies. It launched earlier in the year. News and analysis, townhall.com. Looks like he's off the hook.
An Arizona judge says a rancher who is unsuccessfully tried in the fatal shooting of a Mexican man on his property will not be retried. Santa Cruz County Superior Court Judge Thomas Fink issued his ruling Tuesday, denying a request by prosecutors who had argued that the possibility of a new trial should be left open in case new witnesses emerge. Fink agreed with defense attorneys for George Allen Kelly, who said the case should be dismissed with prejudice. That means it cannot be revived. Kelly's trial ended in a mistrial April 22nd as jurors failed to agree on a verdict. Keith Peters reporting.
Drivers for ride-hailing companies in Massachusetts pushing ahead with a ballot question. It could win them union rights if approved by voters. The drive comes despite Uber and Lyft drivers having just secured a settlement last month. It guarantees they will earn at least $32.50 per hour in Massachusetts. More on these stories. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres inviernos.
Ooh, we had a dueling one there. Jocelyn got in the case, and then Kim as well there. So I hope y'all can hear me better now. My mic connection was coming loose during that last interview, and they said I was cutting out toward the end there. So I secured that. So hopefully it's not choppy anymore. But there we go, a dueling Tres inviernos this morning. So. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day thus far, middle of the week. We do have some chances at rain this afternoon. They were talking like 50 yesterday, but now it's down to like 30. So I don't know. We'll see. But we did get a good rainstorm last night, so it's not all is not lost. We did. I'm gonna guess because I was kind of in and out there, and I got up to use the restroom around 2 a.m, and it was raining pretty good. And so I'm going to say we got at least a good 40 minutes of rain overnight last night. So, yeah, you're on.
I vaguely remember loud thunder. We had pretty good thunder.
Yeah, and it was thunder, lightning, and of course with our bathroom having the skylights in there, you can always hear the rain a lot better.
Oh, yeah, the bathroom flashes.
Yeah, but when the rain hits the skylight, it's a lot louder than when it hits the roof. Yeah. So it was raining pretty steady there and I kind of still remember hearing thunder and lightning. I don't remember hearing rain when I kind of drifted off. So I don't know how much longer it rained or whatever. But I'm going to guess we got a good, at least solid 40 minutes of rain. That'd be
It was thundering really good.
That was my or my guess there on that. So
much needed.
But there is still chances of rain here tonight, tomorrow. But they're down to like 20-30%. But they do say, and when we do the weather, if we do get a storm today, it might be powerful, severe in nature. So
really,
yeah, for Roswell, they're saying if it's only like a 30%, but it's a chance if we do get one, it could be a severe storm.
Weather.
So, but we'll see. But I'll get you up to date on all that here in just a bit.
Just stay close to notifications and just keep yourself safe.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll have all that. We'll see what happens. We get that. I'd say when we get these little rain things, I'd say maybe 20% of them, they'll put that caveat about could be severe in nature. I'm ballparking, but somewhere around there we get that. So just be aware that these could get kind of nasty with the hail and the wind and all that. So we'll see. But there's a 70% chance nothing will happen. So
there you go. That's a glass half full.
Go play that way. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to get you up to date with that weather we were just talking about here officially in just a few minutes here. Then in about 9:15 or so, we're going to be joined in studio by Pastor Rick Hale with Grace Community Church. Now, Pastor Hale is after many, many years of serving and running and being the head of that church, he's now passing the baton to someone else, and he's going to go off and I think spend time with the grandkids and kids and, go be grandpa. So, but we're going to talk with Rick and talk a little about his career, reflect what's up next, and just have a conversation with Rick Hale here. So we're gonna do that here in just a few minutes. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Hey, while I got a minute here, I want to give you a quick reminder that we had Amy McVeigh-Tejas join us on the phone yesterday from the Historical Society, mostly talking about Dine to Donate last night at Texas Roadhouse. So hopefully a bunch of you had a nice meal at Texas Roadhouse and helped the Historical Society with their fundraiser. But their 42nd Annual Heritage Dinner is coming up August 13th with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. This year, the honoree is Troy Hayes. The event, per Troy's request, is a drive-through event, so it'll be like other some past heritage dinners where you'll get your ticket, you'll drive to the Historical Society, get your ticket there, and then proceed on to Pepper's to pick up your meal, and then take it on to wherever you're going to eat, home or wherever. You go to a park and picnic. I don't care, whatever you want to do. But anyway, it's going to be another drive-through event like that. Now, the deadline was July 1st to get your reservations in. However, we have extended that deadline to the end of this week. So if you can get your reservations to Amy at the Historical Society before the end of this week, before Friday's running its course, we can get you an RSVP. Now, you can do a dinner box, which is $120, and that serves 2 people. Or we have, which would be kind of like a table, which is called the dinner bundle, and it is $600, and it includes, and it serves 10 people. So you'll get 5 boxes. The dinner box gets you 1 box that serves two people. And then, so for the dinner bundle, you'll get 5 of those boxes. And with your dinner bundle, you get a few other perks to go with that. It includes special commemorative bag, commemorative gifts. Plus, we can deliver those meals to, and we can deliver them piecemeal. So if you want all 5 boxes to go to one place, we can do that. Or if you want 5 boxes to go to 5 different places, we can do that too. So, but to RSVP, I encourage you to call the museum at 575-622-8333. Again, 575-622-8333. Or you can log on their website, roswellnmhistory.org, and find everything out you need there too. So, but to RSVP, and it's a great dinner, by the way. Peppers is going to be serving a garden salad for 2, jumbo shrimp cocktail appetizer for 2. One of the entrees will be an 8-ounce prime rib entree with au jus and the creamy horseradish. And the other entree will be their famous chicken arpois served. And the entrees will be served with baked potato with individual loaded toppings, vegetable medley, roll butter, and then, of course, finishing things off with a chocolate dessert, brownie dessert for 2 people there. So your dinner will be delightful, regardless. It's pepper, so it's going to be good. But contact Amy, 622-8333, before Friday runs out here to RSVP there. We've RSVP'd, by the way. I got to pay her, but we're good.
Nice.
I did it on the radio yesterday. I got tape proof. All right. It is 13 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We still have that flow of moist air coming in from the southwest, and that means some showers and thunderstorms for us today. Mid-90s on the afternoon high, and some of those storms could be severe with large hail and damaging wind. A few thunderstorms in upper 60s for the overnight hours. A mix of sun and clouds coming up on Thursday, mid-90s, and some afternoon thunderstorms. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 79 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 44% with winds currently out of the south at 8 miles per hour. We are looking at a 30% chance at scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. They're talking after 3 o'clock today. And as I mentioned earlier, some of these storms could be severe. Mostly sunny otherwise with a high of 95 today and south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 30% chance at showers and thunderstorms tonight as well. Mainly before 9 p.m. Again, they throw in that caveat that some of these storms could be severe. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 68 degrees. Winds out of the southwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, 20% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny, 96 for a high. Winds will be out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny, high of 97. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny, high of 97. For Sunday, sunny, high of 97. And then 100 when you head back to work on Monday next week. But who knows? That might change by then. All right, it is 15 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to pause for a 3-minute commercial break, and then we'll talk with Pastor Rick Hale from Grace Community Church here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
It's time for the 88th Annual Lee County Fair and Rodeo, August the 2nd through the 10th in Lovington. Come to the Lee County Fair for the greatest entertainment in New Mexico. August the 2nd, it's the annual Hispanic Heritage Celebration featuring Eric y su Grupo Mazore and Los Tigres del Norte. Tuesday, August the 6th, after PRCA Extreme Bulls, it's country legends, the Bellamy Brothers. Wednesday, August the 7th, Faith and Family Night featuring Casting Crown. Nobody but Jesus. Thursday, August the 8th, it's Tough Enough to Wear Pink Night with Joe DiMaria.
Heads Carolina, tails California.
Friday, August the 9th, celebrate America's Heroes with Justin Moore.
This is my dirt.
Saturday, for Volunteer Appreciation Night, it's country superstar Kane Brown.
Baby, I swear I can feel it in the air.
Log on to LeeCountyFair.net for tickets and more information. Don't miss the 88th Annual Lee County Fair and Rodeo, August the 2nd through the 10th in Lovington. 88 years of tradition.
Summertime fun is almost done, and you know what that means.
Oh, back to school.
Roswell Honda's Back to School Bash, Saturday, July 27th from 10 to 1. Register your kids now for the free backpack giveaway. Then join Roswell Honda Saturday, July 27th for free hot dogs, ice cold Pepsi products, plus face painting, snow cones, jolly jumps, and prizes galore. But that's not all. Roswell Honda will be giving away backpacks chock full of school supplies. Spaces won't last, so sign up fast. The Back to School Bash, Saturday, July 27th at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Edge Safety and Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for roustabout crew and a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screening. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 2801 North Freeman in Artesia. Edge Safety and Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Whether you're a homeowner, a landscaper, or a contractor, we all have reasons to dig. If you're planning to dig, this is just a friendly reminder that locating underground utilities is important. It's actually the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig. New Mexico Gas Company is one of the utilities that will come out free of charge to mark our underground lines up to the meter, so you'll know what's below. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
Every piece of land has a story, written by those who work it. But everyone's story is different. So the question is, how will you tell yours? Behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, mower, or Gator utility vehicle. Run with us and start telling your story today.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, I can say this for a little bit longer, just a smidge longer.
But not long.
Not too long. Pastor at Grace Community Church here in Roswell, Pastor Rick Hale with us this morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mike. Nice to see you, as always.
It's always glad to have you in studio here. Over the years, just various events and things. But for folks that are not familiar, after many years of being the head of Grace Community Church, you're finally stepping down and hanging up the hat a little bit and saying, time for someone else to take over, and I'm going to go and spend time with family and be the grandparent for a while.
Yeah, my wife and I married looking forward 47 years. 47 years ago, I drove my 1965 Pontiac station wagon over the hill into the valley and had no idea that I would be spending the next 47 years, my entire pastoral career, in a place called Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah.
But man, what a ride it has been.
Like looking back now, I mean, was intentions intentional, or is it like the planets just put me where you put me? Like this, like how did all that, because that's just like if you would have asked me 40 years ago, would I be living in New Mexico? I would have said, no, there's no way, but life happens and things. So was that for you like that? Or?
Yeah, very much. In 1976, actually the year before I moved here, I had a friend of mine, a college friend, that had graduated and moved here as a youth minister at the time, South Main Church of Christ.
Okay.
So the summer of 1976, he said, hey, why don't you come out, spend the summer with me, do a little kind of an internship.
Sure.
And that I had never heard of Roswell, New Mexico. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Even after
all the aliens and everything else.
Had never heard. I thought, well, I think it's west. I'll just start driving west until I find it. Came out that summer, had a great experience, and I just kind of fell in love with the people here. Sure. And you know this, it's the people.
Absolutely.
The people of Roswell is what
I've
makes
been here
Roswell.
20 years myself now, and but you're right. It's and I think sometimes people like us that weren't necessarily born and raised here have a greater appreciation for it. And the only reason I say that is because we lived in other places. And myself growing up in Maryland, D.C. area, I can tell you right now, people act very differently in that part of the woods than they do here in Roswell, New Mexico. And it's a delightful change. Right. People like walking down the street just saying hi to random people. That's not a thing in East Coast cities and things like that. That's, you mind your business, you keep your head down, and unless you know somebody, you kind of do. We're here, just because they happen to be crossing your path. Hey, good morning, how you doing today? And that's just the surface, but that in a nutshell is a huge difference between what we enjoy here versus what many other communities in this country do not enjoy.
Yeah, and you're experiencing, I know, after 20 years, what I experienced after 47 is everywhere you go, you see people you know.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I can't go to a restaurant or to Walmart or anywhere without having conversations with people. And so a 15-minute trip to Walmart turns into an hour.
Absolutely.
Because you just see people, and we are going to miss that about Roswell. It is just a great place to raise our kids. I passed Brian Luck on the way out as he was finishing up, and he was a teacher at Goddard when both of my kids came through, and happy to say he lived to tell about it after taking care of my kids. Yeah.
The Rick Hale kids. We get a T-shirt.
So just watching Brian kind of grow up as a young teacher and then a seasoned teacher, and now he's running the show.
My wife as a teacher, and she kind of explains like that evolved too, where she's been doing it now where she's getting kids she taught years ago kind of thing. But seeing that evolution, seeing the growth of some of these people, it's always been a positive for her to say, man, I remember when you were this, and now I'm seeing you're an adult, you're a police officer, you're a contributing member of society. I imagine for you in your 40 years of service here at this church, you see a lot of that. Like people right now that are probably sitting on city council or sitting in the mayor or sitting in various other leadership roles in this community, they probably were sitting there with their feet dangling in the pew because they couldn't touch the floor. You know what I mean? They're at Grace Community Church.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. Of course, it makes you feel old.
Sure.
You know, when all of a sudden the people out there in the audience on Sunday morning are the kids and the grandkids.
Absolutely.
The people that I first met when I came here. But, that's rewarding whenever you, when you do weddings and you do funerals and.
Well, and your profession, I mean, it's a life. I mean, but technically you get a paycheck for it, so it's a profession. Is one of the most unique in the planet in that way, whereas you are in the some of the best moments in life for families and some of the lowest points in life for families, and because of that unique perspective, it hits different. You know what I mean? You're there, and people don't look at you as the milkman or the guy that gets their mail. They're coming to you for spiritual and life guidance and things like that. And so by default, that just puts you right in the middle of their lives, good, bad, and indifferent. So 47 years of that, of baptisms and marriages and funerals and everything else, you're just by default part of the family fabrics in our community. You know what I mean?
And 47 years ago, Mike, I had no idea how rich and rewarding it would be to do life together.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a pastor and you come into community, it's just like any profession. You might be able to fake people out for a few years.
Sure.
But after 6, 7, 8, 9 years, they know the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Absolutely.
They know the warts.
Sure.
And then you really start doing life together. And like you say, the good days, the bad days, the happy days, the sad days. And you do life together with people.
Sure.
And the most difficult part of leaving is leaving those deep relationships and those deep friendships. I think I'm going to get Corporal Tunnel for writing thank you notes this week.
Sure.
Just the outpouring of love and support.
Well, and that's
we're going to miss.
Is probably overflowing right now.
We're going to miss the people here, not just at Grace.
Sure.
But I was listening earlier with Rick Kraft. I love Rick Kraft. I love Leadership Roswell.
By the way, I told him you're committed for another time management for this year. You have to come back from.
I've got to teach my thing on margin.
You got to make a trip back to teach your time management.
Well,
class.
After 25 years of doing that for Leadership Roswell, I think I've got it down.
I think you got it. You don't need to dig too deep in the well to pull that one out. So.
But not just at church, but just in community events and things like Leadership Roswell. And I was involved in community Bible study for 35 years.
Sure.
And taught a Thursday noon Bible study for, I'm doing my last one tomorrow, 44 years.
Wow.
And, that's not just Grace people. That's anybody in the community that wants to come.
We're talking, if you're a Christian that wants to learn more about the Bible, whether you're Baptist or Catholic or whatever you are.
Doesn't matter. So when you live in a community, as long as I have here, just having all of those different points of contact and building those friendships and going through the good times and the bad times with people, that we're going to miss that. It's draining, but it's also very fulfilling.
Well, and I've got to, obviously you've been doing this a long time and you're pretty well aware that you've impacted lives, but I got to imagine this last couple of weeks with now that you're kind of doing the grand tour out here and touring, I imagine it's probably even more than you realized how many lives you touch. Like, because so many people that you probably speak to or give sermons each week that, they're hearing the message, but they're not necessarily feedbacking with you a little bit on it. Okay. And something that you've probably said or done or said multiple times over the years has probably resonated with these folks. And I imagine some of them have come and shared that with you when they may have not said nothing in the last 30 years about it. But now that, time is short to get to talk with you before you start your next chapter here, they feel that need. So I imagine you're probably getting even more than you realize how many lives you've impacted and your family's impacted over the years here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it's humbling and rewarding at the same time. Sunday morning, I preached my last sermon and
that's right. You missed it. If you want to catch the Rick's last sermon, it was this past Sunday.
Yeah,
here,
but hey, you can go to RoswellGrace.com and listen to it online.
That's right. It is there for all of time to go. So if you need a quick pick me up, it'll be there.
But afterwards, just people coming up and just hugging people, and the humbling part, Mike, was just what people whispered in my ear, just personal, private things.
Sure.
That
probably some tough moments in their life that you helped navigate them through.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, I made it through Sunday morning. I had to compartmentalize because I knew I would blubber.
Sure.
If I made it all the way through second service, and right at the end, I felt this big lump coming up in my throat. But then as people came up and just shared special things and wrote special notes to me, that has been, it's been overwhelming, Mike, overwhelming to me, but very rewarding, very gratifying.
Yeah, and not that that's why you do it, but that's because you do it because you want to help. But I'm sure it does warm the heart, and you're thinking, man, because I'm sure there's days, everyone has them in life. There's days where you're like, am I making a difference, or am I spinning my wheels here? And anytime you have those kind of days, you have days like, or times like this that are going on right now. I said, no, even when I don't think I'm making a difference, there's so much going on behind the scenes that I've impacted and so. I hope you take that as a comfort as much as anything too. That it's like even when those days that I didn't feel like I got the job done, I did get the job done.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. My message to people listening right now is never underestimate the difference you're making. Mm-hmm. It may not be visible, but you're planting seeds in the lives of people. And you're a school teacher, and very often as school teachers, you don't see the fruit.
No.
You don't see the fruit when those kids are driving you crazy in that classroom. But 20, 30, 40 years from now, they'll look back and you are making an impact.
Sure.
So I just tell people, keep making an impact wherever you are. Doesn't matter where. You don't have to be a pastor.
Sure.
You don't have to be a radio talk host.
Yeah.
No, just wherever you are, whoever you are, make that impact in the lives of people, and someday you'll see the fruit.
I always I say it quite often here on the morning show, kind of a challenge to people. And it's like, if you want to make our community better, we've got a town of 50,000. We got great people. I said, you don't have to do everything. Find your passion, your niche. I don't care where it is, whether it's working with homeless, whether it's working with youth sports, whether it's church, whether it's, whatever, whatever, your thing is, your passion, find that and pick it. And if everyone picked their one thing to get involved with, how many, I don't know how many, I think we'd have a lot less problems in this community and a lot more things going on. And it's really that we don't, we live in a world where we probably have a couple hundred people that do 27 things in this community. And I'm thinking, and we'd love, and God bless them, and we want to keep them doing that if that's what they love doing. But at the same time, it's like we can make it easier for everyone to pick the one thing in your life that's important to you, and that's where you make your impact. And and that's how we make a better community. And so, whether it's helping hands, feeding people where they need to be fed, or if it's at church there sorting clothes and helping out when the next disaster meets communities here, or if it's, coaching these youth in their soccer games and football games and baseball games and things like that. All of that makes our community better, and that's how we all each contribute, like you're saying.
If people would find their sweet spot and then dig into that sweet spot, then, because nobody can do you like you can do you. I can't do you.
Yeah.
I can do me.
I barely can do me.
No, you do you very well. But you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And, if people would do that, say, just really go say, what is my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
What is my God-given purpose? I'm going to find it, and then I'm going to fulfill it.
So for you, like, what point in your life did you say the ministry was do you have a family history there, or was it literally the light bulb moment for you?
No, I really don't have family history, and ironically, you bring this up because Sunday, my last sermon was a very unique sermon. It wasn't a typical sermon. I kind of told my life story and how I got here and how I've never really wanted to be a pastor, never thought about being a pastor. It wasn't my lifelong dream to be a pastor, but when I came here that summer, the leaders of the church gave me an opportunity to teach an adult Bible study.
Okay.
And man, I loved it. And
it just resonated
I liked
with you.
them and they liked me. And so the leader said, hey, go finish graduate school. I had one more year. Come back next May of 77, and we'd like to hire you. And Mike, I said, well, what do you want me to do? True story. And they said, what would you like to do? How about that for a blank page?
No kidding.
And I said, I would love to teach the Bible to adults, really helping people, find their God-given passion and their God-given gifts.
Sure.
And they said, that's what we want you to do. We'll hire you. And that's how I landed in Roswell in 1977.
Interesting. I'm sure God had a big hand in that one. Put you right where you need to be at the right time and the right place.
God has a way of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that, like the Bible and teaching the Bible was kind of your niche into the cloth here, so to speak. Because when we think, because we look at the Bible and, it is a book that, because it's when it was written, in the evolution of humanity since it was written and things, people spend lifetimes trying to interpret and understand the Bible. And to be honest, you can get 10 people to read a passage and get 10 different meanings out of that passage. And it's so great that, because to me, that's where I think, church is important in the sermons, but I think the Bible study, when you're really breaking down and saying, okay, what is the book saying here? What do you think it means? I mean, that's where the real spiritualism's happening there. And that's where, you're forming your opinions and forming what is right and what is wrong and what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. Yeah. And so and let's face it, we all know the Bible is not written in modern language, and so the begats and thous and the arts do kind of throw a wrinkle in there. And so to be able to be in a room with people and break it down, it's kind of like the only other comparison I could kind of make it to is like learning Shakespeare in high school, where it's like you read a passage and you're like, all right, what did that mean? And then you break it down, and really Bible study, and to be honest, you kind of have to do it that way because, unless you're a theologian or a language scholar or know ancient scripts and things, it's kind of hard to just take a Bible and read it and without questioning or trying to, think a minute on, now, what are they saying there?
And you just described my job description. Years ago, somebody challenged me. They said, sit down and write out your purpose statement. What is your purpose in life?
Yeah.
Well, that challenged me, Mike, and I spent weeks and weeks and weeks and went through different editions, and I'd throw it away and I'd start over. And I really came to this purpose statement that, my purpose is to teach the Bible in such a practical and relevant way that people can find and fulfill God's purpose for their life.
Sure.
And that has been the greatest joy for me, is taking Scripture, the truth of Scripture, and saying, okay, how can we understand it, but also how can we apply it, and how can it benefit me in finding my sweet spot?
Sure.
But that means you have to do it in a relevant and a practical way.
Yeah, because in essence, you have to sell it, because and sell it. I know that's maybe not quite the right term, but you're presenting the message and saying this is the path, this is the way, and you by explaining to them, you're in essence selling the message here. You're saying, to do this, you've got to do this.
One of the greatest compliment that I've received in the last few weeks, those people whispering my ear, they said, thank you for helping me understand the Bible and applying it to my life. I never could just read it and understand it. Thank you for helping, get it, kind of get the cookies on the lower shelf so everybody can enjoy them.
Absolutely.
So that's always been my
and not to mention that helps in other facets of life, because say what you want, you're also learning critical thinking skills. You're learning, research, and so there's other ancillary stuff by just trying to sit down and really understand what the Bible means that will reflect in other aspects of life too. That kind of just rubs off by default there. So
right.
But so I got to ask, now that you've done your last service officially, we're going to be passing the baton here this Sunday to the new leader of the church home here. But so what's your timetable now? I know they said we're going to go and move and be closer to family and kids and grandkids here. But what's kind of the timetable of all this happening now?
Yeah, it's going to be starting to move pretty quick, but this Sunday we're going to have one service. That'll be different. We always have two. We're going to have one service at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
We're going to do the official baton handoff, and Pastor Nate Marsh, coming from Topeka, Kansas,
very good,
with his wife and two children.
And I think there's been an extensive search and background and everything to make sure that whoever's filling in your shoes is going to be quite capable of doing that.
This has been a 2-year journey. 2 years. Matter of fact, 2 years to the day. This is kind of an interesting little tidbit.
Was this by design? No, I'm just kidding.
That we're handing the baton this Sunday, July 14th. The search team that I and the leaders of the church appointed at Grace, four individuals, they had their first meeting 2 years ago, July 14th.
Wow.
And it was not planned that way.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're very excited.
Good deal. I imagine he's very excited to kind of take over. I'm sure the congregation has probably met and got the chance to talk with him a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we did. We invited him out. He's preached. And so
there's already a familiarity.
His first official sermon will be this Sunday. And just a great guy, great experience, wonderful family. He's 38 years old, but he's had 20 years of pastoral experience. He started when he was 18.
Wow, so he kind of knew early where he was going. So good for him.
So the more I get to know him, the more I like him.
Wow, a 20-year experienced 38-year-old.
Yeah, you don't see that all the time.
That's a pretty strong back, too, if we need moving and lifting and stuff. I'm just saying. I always hear younger people, they can move things. They're stronger and younger. But that'll be exciting too. Of course, Amy McVeigh has popped in on our conversation here. Of course, you're a long time. As you pretty much grown up and everything through Grace Community Church, even in your younger days and all that.
My testimony is like so many others. I was born and raised Catholic, and the first time I ever met or saw Rick Hale was when I was 12 years old, and I heard him preach at the YMCA. So there you go. And nice. I thought, as a Catholic, and I love to be a Catholic, but no pun intended, the light came on, and so I've just been respecting this process and his greatness since a very young age. But I'm proud to say we've been members. So many of us, we're a big family. Absolutely. And I'm just, I am the part of the Sunshine Happy cheerleading committee to make this celebration on Sunday. The expectation is, how could we ever do right by this? But we're going to try.
Sure.
And we've got Peppers backing us, so that's a good start.
Well,
right.
At least you will not be hungry on Sunday. Nothing else. You will be fed.
So I insisted. I said, if we're going to have a big celebration, Amy's got to be in charge. That's one rule. And number two, we have to have food. So, because we're a purpose-driven church, we're purpose-driven eaters.
I have yet to see major church decisions made outside of a non-food related event. like churches move by their stomachs.
We certainly do. So I'm telling you the truth. They are not telling me anything about Sunday. All I know is I'm kind of the MC.
Just show up and wear your Sunday clothes.
We're gonna commission the new pastor, and we're gonna do the handoff, the baton handoff, and then I said, well, what's going to happen after church? We're one service at 10. What happens after? They say, just show up. I need to tell people what's happening, and they say, you're not going to know anything. Just show up. So I'm going to be surprised.
So you are going to come and they're going to do this as your life, and I'm just kidding.
Well, and that's throughout the family, because I was talking to his son, and he's like, I don't know. I don't want to know anything, Amy.
Gotcha.
I don't want to know.
So even the people that could potentially spill a bean or two want nothing to know knowledge, so they don't accidentally.
There were all kinds of things last Sunday that were surprises to me. I found out while I was standing on the platform. I found out certain things, you know. All of a sudden, the city councilor's walking up with this proclamation. I'm going, who is he and where is security? He's coming right at me.
Matthew Chappell's coming right up. Well, on behalf of Grace Community Church, we are thrilled to continue to celebrate Rick Hell Week.
Absolutely.
And we'll continue that until Jesus comes, as far as I'm
By the way,
concerned.
Matt Chappell, I can guarantee, because I was sitting right near him, he has sat through your time management speech and leadership Roswell. I was in the class with him. I was there. So that man, he was in one of your classes.
And Matt did a beautiful job Sunday with the proclamation, and it was, again, just very humbling to receive that from the mayor. And the mayor and I, we go way back too. We've been friends for a long time.
You've been around 47 years. He's been around too. You probably tend to bump into each other.
So now, we laugh. We run into each other at funerals. And he'll walk in.
I think that's just as we get older thing. We tend to run to people at a funeral.
Rick, the only time I run into you is at funerals and when you have breakfast at the restaurant.
That's priorities.
That's funny. That's awesome.
Absolutely. But we would love to invite folks to come this Sunday. Like I said, it is only one service.
10 o'clock.
So if you come to the late service, you're going to miss a bunch here. But come out and, like I said, I guess, Amy, there's going to be a few tricks and a few things to expect the unexpected.
And that's something else I don't think that was mentioned. Dr. Bowles did his great poetry with a little bit of Rick Hell roasting in there.
Ooh. Bob Bowles has been roasting me every Sunday on my birthday. He's a great poet. He's a published poet, but he does he scalded me pretty good.
I think we all got a little red. For Rick also.
There's one line in this last Sunday's poet that he said that I had a face for radio.
Ooh, I've been told that.
I knew you'd enjoy that line.
Oh my goodness!
That one sounds familiar to me.
So good job, Dr. Bowles. We laughed and we got the face.
He's been waiting years to say that. And now he's like, "Angel's way out. I can finally say it."
And he did with a smile too. That's a great poet that does it with a smile. But
he does
again,
it out of love.
Something at our last team meeting that I just want to hear people on the radio here on behalf of Grace. I heard this. I said it, and so did Lawrence Lovato. Well done, good and faithful servant. So we love you, and we are just excited to celebrate Rick Hale.
Absolutely.
And we're excited that he just gets to put his I'm excited to see how this retirement thing works for Rick Hale, too. That's kind of exciting.
There's any hobbies that you have taken up or will need to take up outside of once you're, not having a day job to go to?
Yeah, I've kind of figured out the first year my hobby is going to be Mary's to-do list. I've kind of figured
after 47 years of putting it off, you've been kind of about time to get to some of those.
I'm going to be hanging pictures on the wall and unboxing boxes. And then
so you do have a move to happen. So that doesn't. And I don't care what anybody says. Moving's no fun. I don't care what anybody says. It's a pain in the butt. It's nice when you're done, but the process is a pain.
I've learned that 47 years in a community, stuff collects. I don't know if you are aware of that. My goodness.
Yeah. So are you a pack rat type individual?
No, we're not. No. We're the annual garage sale, keep it cleared out. But at night, while I'm asleep, it grows in the garage.
Someone pours water on it and it multiplies like gremlins.
So we'll get there.
Absolutely. Well, I can say, it is. Roswell is a better community for having you be a part of it for so many years. We talk about, like we were talking about this, with Brian and with Rick
Kraft
earlier, talk about how this community comes together and all that. You're very much a part of that glue that happens. Yourself and Grace Community Church has been in the forefront of this community for, I've been here 20 plus years and it's always been that way, And it was probably, like you said, you've been 40 years, it was probably 20 plus years before I even got here. It was like that. So as you go off to spend time with the grandkids and the kids and spend time at football games and baseball games and spelling bees and all that good stuff, We were greatly appreciative of what you've done here, and I know that you're got very capable shoes filling in for you. However, you will be missed. You will be, and quite frankly, and we support this new because he's biting off a big. I mean, and I don't, this is Rick, but anytime you're replacing someone that's just been the staple, the beacon of something, no matter what happens, you're not going to do it the right way to some people. You know what I mean? And so let's welcome and embrace, even if he does things a little different than Rick.
Well, Grace Community Church is one well-oiled engine.
Yes.
And the thing I love most about Rick through this process is his vision is that little engine to never skip a beat.
Sure.
And it is clear and evident through this well-oiled engine that I don't think we're going to. And we move forward with love and admiration. And I know he's the first one right behind Nate to just it's this baton of smooth transitioning that I really don't think with the way Rick as a leader has set us up, I don't even think that engine's going to hesitate a bit. It's just going to keep on keeping on.
And the impact that this church has had is bigger than just the people
that's for sure
that sit under its roof on Sundays here.
Amen.
The community part is truly a community thing, because just think about it. I mean, just forget all the events and fundraisers and helping this and stuff. There are so many organizations that call Grace Community Church home at some point or another. Whether it's a Thursday night, there's a Celebrate Recovery group meeting, or a grief group meeting on a Tuesday night, or something like that. Grace Community Church, when it's not, being God's temple, it is a community gathering space, and that's as much as the building is of the people that make it its home. And so,
well, one thing for certain, if grace falters when I leave, I was not a good leader.
You're right. Well, you know what? I'm pretty confident saying I don't see any faltering anytime soon.
Me neither.
That foundation's I don't know, titanium or what, or the hardest anti-antium, that stuff on Marvel movies.
See, there you go. Listen, you go, Mike Winters. All right.
I'm just nerd enough to know what that is.
Well, I would just tell people, wait till you meet Nate. You're going to like this guy.
Good deal. He's a ball of fire.
Just a great guy.
Good deal.
Just the real deal.
Good deal.
And the whole family.
Yeah, the whole family.
They're amazing.
Well, he's getting handed the keys on Sunday. And so come and see his first of many services at Grace Community Church. And then, of course, stick around for our send-off here for Rick.
It's going to be a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
And for those of you who have been around Grace quite a while, let me just give a little hint. We're going to do a little throwback of Norma Bell type good old days celebration. So that's a really cool thing. I think the future's great, but it's going to be fun taking a trip down memory lane in a fun, glorious, celebratory, bright, and joyful manner. Is that a good thing? I think that's going to be a great thing.
This is sounding very much like do you remember this person? And behind curtain two is
I want to challenge, if you've never attended Grace, go back on and watch our service online from Sunday.
Yeah, RoswellGrace.com. And you can hear Bob Bull's poem.
Yes.
It is hilarious.
There you go.
And Mary up on the stage.
And great music.
And Rick's red face. And Mary singing. If you have never attended a Grace service, that's a good start, right?
Absolutely. You picked a good one to come for the new chapter.
There you go.
The start of the new chapter.
I would say go online and
love to have people there. All my friends in Roswell, you can cut your church one Sunday and join us.
Absolutely. Come visit and come.
That.
We'll all come and just have one big church here.
There you go.
By the way, I know you're retiring, but I feel like because your profession as a pastor, do you ever truly retire?
I can retire from being a pastor, but not from ministry.
Sure.
Not from people. So Mary and I we've already found a church over there in Amarillo that we like. We'll plug in and we'll say, hey, where can you use a couple of old people?
I was about to say, do you have to kind of keep your previous experience on the down low for fear of they might just put you back to work as the church pastor? Imagine, because I'm thinking, if Rick Hill's just a guy in my parish here sitting here, and I'm sitting there I need a day off. Wait, that guy can do it. He's pretty good. He's been doing it for 47 years. Come on up, Rick. I mean, you worry that you might get kind of roped in? They're like, no, I'm retired.
No, because I do this thing on margin, see, so I know, build margin in. Don't overdo. So Mary and I will start slow.
Sure.
There you go.
Sure.
There you go.
Next thing you know, he's wearing disguises the first day. I'm Roger Hale. Hi. Nathan Hale here to meet you.
There you go.
Hello. You had a beard last week. But come join us at Grace Community Church here on Sunday. It's on Mescalero. What's the actual physical?
935 West Mescalero, 10 o'clock.
Yep. Can't miss it. Come. And if you're looking for a church home, make Sunday your first. Come visit. Come check it out. Or maybe you just hadn't been to church in a while. Maybe you're due for a visit. So come Sunday and come meet the new pastor. Come celebrate the next chapter here and celebrate Rick as he goes off to be with grandkids and move on to the next chapter of his life. So good deal.
Thank you, Mike.
Are you a golfer or a hunter? Or
No, I used to golf, but public safety said I could no longer golf because people in the next fairway were getting hit on a regular basis.
People at the hotel over at the Nimi driving range are getting salty at me because those balls keep landing in the hotel.
I was guilty of that too.
Dairy Queen,
awesome.
they were mad. I made every business mad around that whole thing. Well, very good. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Amy.
Yes, we love you, Rick.
And
Mary, too. We
absolutely.
love, we're excited for the future, but we are sure we'll continue sending love their way in their future.
And come out Sunday and come celebrate and come have fun and come worship God together here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you for what you do, Mike.
Thank you. And if you do
appreciate
pop in from time to time here for visiting, because I'm sure you are committed for a visit from time to time every once in a while. Got a few people to visit, and we'd love to have you back and just tell everybody what's going on.
Will do. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, it is 9:55. Let us do quick local news and commercial break before we are kicked off the radio. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Forecasters and emergency management officials say more flash flooding is possible Wednesday around Ruidoso. Thunderstorms are again expected to develop across mountain peaks and move south. Storms brought heavy rainfall around the Ruidoso area early Tuesday, and that caused some life-threatening and damaging flash flooding. This coming weekend, the area of high pressure will move over Colorado. Storms will continue to develop across the mountains and higher elevations in the afternoon, but instead move to the west and southwest with the high pressure to the north. A groundbreaking for the new recreation center in Artesia is planned for October 17th. The Daily Press reports the city has already begun the design process. The next step involves adding the engineering components and mechanical and electrical systems to the plans. The rec center footprint has grown some since March due to an increase in the size of the fitness area. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Believe it or not, your home insurance company isn't evil. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here. A lot of roofers make your insurance company out to be your enemy. They'll talk about fighting and battling your insurance to get you the claim you deserve. But honestly, your insurance company is a group of people just like you and me. That's why we don't treat your roof insurance claim like we're going to war. We treat it like a court case. We provide your insurance company every piece of evidence needed to get you the highest possible claim. We submit photos, videos, detailed documents, and line-by-line estimates. And guess what? Our non-combat approach works. On 92% of roof insurance claims, we get the highest amount the first time. And the rare times we don't, well then, that's when we go to bat for you. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first. Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Celebrate freedom. Celebrate huge savings with 0% financing, more for your trade, and no payments till October during the Red, White, and Blue sales event at the all-new Roswell Ford. With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. $15.15 per thousand financed on select new Ford models with approved credit.
Who doesn't think the dentist is a big deal? I know what you're thinking. What will they find? How much will it hurt? What are my options? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher, and I am here to tell you that here at Carabelli Dental, it is our job to put you at ease. With options like sedation dentistry, you can rest assured that regardless of what dental work you might need, you can get it done while resting comfortably. Call our office now and speak to our knowledgeable staff about setting up your new patient appointment.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
Eastern New Mexico University is proud to announce our newest offering, a Master of Social Work degree. This 100% online affordable master's degree has 3 concentrations: clinical, clinical military, and children, youth, and families. This online master's degree is perfect for the working professional, as you can earn your degree on your own time with our flexible online courses. For more information, visit www.enmu.edu/MSW. Eastern New Mexico University, student success. That's what we're about.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And we're closing in on 10 o'clock. Sean's in the chair tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday. Have an amazing day. Thanks for listening.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The city of Houston is sweltering as utilities work to restore power after Beryl.
In the Houston area, many residents are still struggling with power outages following damage by Hurricane Beryl. Early this morning, PowerOutage.com had the statewide figure of around 1,700,000. Erica Robinson spoke to the AP about her frustrations.
Over 800 or 1,000 people in my area are without power, and they'll get to us when they can, and that was the last thing I heard, and then I lost power on my phone.
Not having power is just, the heat is oppressive.
Leslie Briones, a Harris County commissioner, was speaking to residents at a cooling center.
It's catastrophic when you lose everything in your fridge and you're living check to check.
Some families were dealing with both power outages and hurricane damage. I'm Jennifer King.
Meanwhile, the remnants of Hurricane Beryl have spawned at least one tornado